All right, guys. Sorry, I'm running a little bit late. Carol and I went out on a date last night, so we got in late. Uh, and I didn't feel like I know I got to stream Microsoft earnings at the end of the day today or this afternoon, so I didn't really feel like streaming that with no sleep. There we go. Just get this out the way, and then there we go. Unlock this. Here's Tesla on the right. Tesla down a little bit today. We're gonna be looking at AMC as well. See if today's the day. I still haven't sold. I'm still in my full position. Tesla gapping up nicely. Here's AMC on the left side. Gapping up a little bit today. It's back up to like 540s. Or it's gapping down a little bit today, but it hasn't really broken down heavily, which is good, I guess. Let me get the music playing here. Hold on. Make sure my headphones are working here this morning. And I think we're pretty close to getting funded today. I didn't really have the time yesterday. Like I said, I'm not gonna go too much in detail, but yesterday, I mean, I guess I kind of can. It doesn't matter too much, like, because I don't think we like use our anniversary as like any passwords or anything like that. But yesterday was Carol and I's 10-year anniversary. I didn't want to tell people, but like, that's why I stayed out late. But it's okay. Zevia? Wait, Zevia has a stock? I'm familiar with the Zevia drink. I actually drink it a lot. I used to drink it a lot more. To be honest, I think Zevia makes my face break out in a rash. But like I still think it serves a purpose and I think it's good. So I'm familiar with it. Don't drink it anymore, but I'm familiar with it. Uh, anyways, all right, yeah, we're here, man. All right, we need $500 today, guys. $500, and we got it. Here is the combine so far. If you guys want to see it. So I told you guys I'd get funded within less than a week or less than a couple weeks. We started this one on the 4th of July, so it's been 19 days. So it's been about 2.5 weeks, right? But pretty like, you could see good green day, good green day, good green day, losing day, green day, green day, green day, losing day, green day. So we got $500 left basically, and I think we should be able to hit that today. We're either going to hit that one today or we are going to get the other one set up to where we're going to hit one of them in the next couple. Yeah, we got one of these where we're about halfway through. Hey, thank you, Sam. No, I didn't hear about that. Yeah, rate hikes at 2 p.m. tomorrow. But yeah, Carol and I have been married for 10 years yesterday. 10 years, bro. We've actually been together for like 13 or 14 years. So we've been together for a long time. You know. So like I brought her out to eat. Brought her to Louis Vuitton place, got her something from there, and brought her out to eat to a nice restaurant. And Carol and I aren't the most sentimental. We're really not. She's not the most sentimental person, and I'm not really either, you know. But we did something. So, all right, we do have some earnings dropping today specifically here. Here's Spotify. Pretty sure Spotify's already out with theirs. They're gapping down here. They're down at 146s. All right, so here's Spotify. Spotify dropped. I'm looking for Spotify's numbers here. They're all confusing here. Hold on. So Spotify dropped their numbers early this morning. The only ones I see that they really even put out are 3M. Adidas dropped their numbers as well. 3M dropped theirs, 217 EPS on 117 expected revenue of 8.3 bill, expected 7.87 billion. I can't find the same thing for Spotify. It looks like they posted a second quarter loss per share of 155 euro per share on third quarter revenue. That's guidance. So I'm not sure what their previous guidance was. Second quarter total revenue was 3.177 billion, up 11% year over year. Total MAUs, which is monthly active users, up to 551, up 27% year over year. For Spotify, you not and investors. Not sure the point of that comment, man. I mean, hey, maybe not. Doesn't matter either way. We never claimed to be investors. I'm in AMC right now. I'll tell you that. I've been in it for over a year. If that makes you feel better, if you're talking about AMC, if you're one of those purists that's like you have to hold AMC. I've been in AMC for over a year, longer than a lot of these people talking about it. But there's Spotify. Break it down on these earnings, all the way down at under 147.50. Yeah, GM dropped their earnings. We had GE drop their earnings too. GM posted second quarter EPS of 183 versus 114 a year ago. Second quarter adjusted EPS of 191 versus the consensus of 186. Put these numbers up on screen for GM. There's GM right there. Today's actually a big earnings day. All right, so we got that one here. We got 4-3. All right, but yeah, there's AMC on the left side here. I'm going to do a poll, and then the poll is going to say, where do you think AMC closes today? Yeah, a lot of big earnings today. All right, so we're going to do over $6 a share. And then we're going to do over $8 a share. Then we're going to do another one for below $5 a share. Then we're going to do another option for break even. It's a good question. I'd vote on that poll. Where does AMC close today? Over 6, over 8, below 5, or break even? The different options. 19. So we're just locking in some profit today. All right, so 44% voted break even, 31% said over 6, below 5 said 25%. Vote on the poll for AMC. Let me know what you feel. How you feel. Did you trade the opening yesterday? I did a little bit. Not like a huge amount, but I traded it some. Oh yeah, dude. So I went to this restaurant. Yeah. Ordered the A5 Wagyu beef, Kobe Wagyu beef. It was A5 Kobe beef is what it was. It was expensive too, but I had never had it before, and it was our anniversary. I'm not trying to brag. Like, I'm usually very cheap as a person. You know what I mean? Like, I'm usually not like super. I don't like to spend a lot of money. You know, my dad was the same way. I don't like to spend a lot of money, so I'm not trying to brag at all. Just to preface what I'm about to say, but we ended up buying like the super expensive Kobe A5 Wagyu steak, and bro, for $240, dude, they gave me like a slice of beef like that big. It was like that big. It was tiny, you know. It was good, but it wasn't. It was good, but it wasn't $240 good, you know. But I just wanted to try it, and so we tried it. Is the music not on? Oh, my bad here. And for anybody saying I'm bragging or whatever, like I said, it was my 10-year wedding anniversary, so I usually don't spend a lot of money. Should be more reactive. AMC pulled too much. It's just buttery to me. Like, it's good. Don't get me wrong. Like, I liked it. You know, it's not like I didn't like it. Like, I liked it. I gave it to my kids. I saved a piece for my kids. They liked it too. But like, the real question there is, do you like it because it's good, or do you like it because you spent $240 for a little slice of it? You know, that's the real question. Confirmation bias is strong here. You know, you spend $240 on something, you're going to want to confirm that it's justifiable to spend the money. And so the real question is it really good, or are people just saying that because they spend so much freaking money on it? Yeah, so AMC. Another day for AMC. Okay, good, bro. Good, dude. So AMC changed to where they're now doing their earnings after the closing bell on August 8th. Freaking good, bro. They needed to do it this way, dude. I don't know why they were ever like trying to do it in the morning. They're going to get more attention to their earnings call in the evening, not in the morning, man. In the morning, it's going to be diluted by everything else going on in the market. Like, they need to do it in the evening, and they are. So they announced that they are actually pivoting to doing their earnings call in the evening, like they freaking should, on August 8th. So in 2 weeks from now. Yeah, I mean, like I said, we were at a fancy restaurant, and I'm not really one to I'll splurge my money. Like if Carol really wanted it, I'd get it, and she didn't even. It wasn't even her idea to get it. Um, one of the things that I'm not gonna say is a weak spot of mine, but one of the things that I splurge on, I spend money on, is food. You know, like anytime anybody's at my house, I'm buying way too much food. And we never even eat it all. Like my daughter makes fun of me because it's like anytime I have like a friend stay over at my house and we go eat, I buy so much food. If my mom comes here and stays here to eat, I buy so much food, like unnecessary amounts of food. I think like my mind overpowers my stomach, and so I just end up splurging a lot of money. So we went to this fancy restaurant, and you know, I wanted to try it. It was all right. I had it before, but I had never had uh, I had Wagyu before, right? But like I had Japanese Wagyu. So Japanese A5 Wagyu was one thing, right? The Kobe beef Wagyu A5, which is like the grade, is a different thing, right? Apparently, like the Kobe beef is like the best. The Japanese Kobe Wagyu beef is the best, and so that's what we tried. It was all right. Like I said, it tastes buttery to me. I'm not a big butter guy, but it was all right. Am I gonna buy it again? No, not unless like we got some big special occasion. Hey, what's up, Shepard? I bought a little of AMC on the dip. It's short sale restriction today. If it's gonna run, today is the day. Yeah, I'm in AMC. I'm still in it. I haven't touched it. I'm still in that same position. I've been in it. Again, my average on AMC is, I believe it's $6. So I'm still down on the latest position here, but that's okay. If we look at it, I'll show you my AMC position. My average is 606. It's been this way since yesterday. But I've been holding this for like a year. Here's our average price. Again, it's $6.06. We've been in this one since yesterday. You're right, exactly, pawn. And I figure if I'm gonna waste money on it, yesterday was the day too. Yeah, I've heard Argentina has good stuff. Brazil too. All right, guys. So look at AMC dump down here. It's at 530s, 533s. So, I'm looking up the news for AMC here. All right, so here we go. We're gonna make our Twitter post like we always do here, guys. This is not me logging into OpenAI to write my Twitter posts for me. I would never. What is writing Twitter posts for me? Whew, man. All right, guys. So we are going to make our Twitter post. Definitely not me getting OpenAI to write it for me. All right, guys. So we are giving the stories of the day on news. If we have anything else that we're missing today, let me know. Dish. All right, so yeah, we're gonna post about this. Anything else? We also have some big earnings today. So Microsoft, Snapchat. What else did we have for earnings? Spotify and more. And so Spotify dropped their quarterly earnings showing. Let's see what they showed. What did Spotify show for earnings? I've been trying to look it up, but it's a little bit let me see. So earnings, let me pull this up. All right, Spotify, so freaking hard to show. What did Spotify expect? Spotify expected minus 69 EPS. But everything's in freaking euros, bro. This is why I hate Spotify. Does anybody know if Spotify actually hit or missed earnings? Nobody else seems to as well. Quarter two revenue, 3.18 euros versus 3.21 consensus. All right, I'm just going to post this. All right, so we had Spotify. What else do we have this morning? We had Verizon at 7:30. So Verizon's in about 30 minutes. GM. All right, GM is right here. Right, so we had GM, which posted a 191 EPS, beat 185 estimates. Sales of 44.75 beat the other estimates as well. On that, 3M dropped theirs. Sherwin-Williams, Verizon is out with theirs. So Verizon. Got big earnings this evening with Snap, Microsoft, Google, and more. Let us know anything we missed in the comments. And so we are posting today's big latest stories. And then we're also going to do another tweet after this. All right, guys. So we're going to see how many people truly support me. We built this tweet. Here's the link. Check it out. Everybody give me a follow on the tweet if you haven't already. Hit the heart button on that tweet. Show support. Help your boy grow on Twitter. We're trying to grow that. BBIG this morning. Man, I love these streams. Hey, what's up, dude? Hey, pal, what is the Twitter you speak of? It's at Beginner Trades TV Tyree. My guy, what's up, man? At Beginner Trades. We post all the stuff we can there, you know. We are also trading futures a little bit today. We're going to go ahead and lock in some more profit there. I'm going to lock that in too. We should be up about $100 on the day. Oh, we're up more than that now. All right, we got the cushion that we needed to build on this one. And again, we're just going to be building up a cushion. Oh, yeah, X, I mean. Yeah. Hey, but there's the link. Give your boy a follow. Hit that heart button. Whatever this is called. Hey, thank you, Zia. All right, so we got all the earnings out today. Everything came in. Man, this earnings season has been pretty healthy. All right, if I'm being honest. So today's earnings season has been pretty healthy. I mean, if we look at all of this, so far, everything has basically showed better than expected results here. So Spotify, GMG, Verizon, 3M. What else we got for earnings today? We covered a bunch of them. Spotify, GMG, EV. All right, that's basically it. All right. Am I the only person when I save a file, I call it like, sometimes I just like write a bunch of crap that doesn't mean anything. Like I just kind of go and scribble some stuff in my keyboard. Hey, thank you so much for everybody that liked the tweet. I appreciate it. Thank you so much. We appreciate it. Again, if you want to see like the biggest news stories, like we really cover all the big news on Twitter every morning early. We cover this stuff early. And what's up, Lurkin Luke? Is the bird gone? Nah, the bird's still there on my end, bro. I see the X, but they forgot to remove it from Who won the Astros game, bro? Honestly, I was at my anniversary dinner with Carol. And like they had two Astros TVs on. Both of them were playing the Astros game, and we were facing directly at these TVs. You know? Carol's cool enough to understand. I was like, hey baby, I'm sorry if I'm watching the game. And she was like, nah. She was like, you know, they put two TVs in front of you, so like anybody's gonna watch it. I'm kind of watching it, and I was like, good. But did the Astros win? I can't remember. The last time I looked at it, it was 5-4, and like we had gotten. Oh, we did win. Nice, man. Hey, good, dude. The last thing I saw was that the pitcher that we had in, the starter, was starting to struggle. He's getting banged up a little bit in that game. And then I left and I didn't finish the game. I don't know. I don't trust Spotify. I think Spotify is good. Look at Spotify rip, though. Spotify's starting to come back. I don't trust it. No. Thank you for all the follows, all the kind things. We appreciate it. Hey, thank you, Alexis, for the share. I appreciate it, guys. Thank you. Wait, Chapman plays for I don't even know where. Chapman's been floating around to so many different teams lately. Chapman plays for the Rangers now? They got Chapman and DeGrom. They got two of the fastest throwing pitchers in the game, if it's the Rangers. Yeah. Good. Chapman, he's looked a little rough lately, man. I understand why the Astros picked him up because he's kind of at a discount after his struggles with New York and like all the issues they had with him. Like I understand, but I don't know what happened. I mean, I think what happened is that Chapman really just he's just got one move, which is the fastball, and it's a fast one. I mean, it's 104, 105. Sometime one, the record was 106. But it's kind of a one-trick pony, I would say. Anyways. Everybody's using Spotify. Yeah, I just don't trust Spotify. I don't know it well enough, to be honest. Like, I'm not saying I don't like Spotify. I just don't know it that well. Is the thing. Like, I just don't know Spotify that well, to be honest. Tesla gapping up nicely. AMC already at 530s. Let's look at the poll numbers here. So we got some votes. 40% say over $6 a share. 14% say over $8 a share. 29% say below $5, and 17% say break even. Hey, what's up, Douglas? Dojo and watch. Yeah. I mean, after the Twitter thing, I'm sure it is. Today's going to be a busy day, man. We're going to be moving today. Again, we should be getting funded today. We're very close to getting funded. We are basically right there. I told you guys I was probably going to get funded today. The job right now is to build up a cushion of some sort. We'll see if I can. Again, the job is to build up a cushion. I'm only going to trade the regular E-mini. I'm not going to trade the NASDAQ. It goes against me too quickly. I think if there's a chance that I'm just not going to risk it with the NASDAQ. So I'm not going to trade the regular NASDAQ. It goes against me too quick. I'm going to trade the E-mini and the micro NASDAQ only today. And we'll see if we get something good. But yeah, we are basically there. We need $500 and we're funded. So if we can make about 700 today, 600 or 700, we're done. We're funded in this account. We passed all the rules. Our best day percentage of profit is only 36%. And so, yeah. We'll have to pay attention to commissions. If Tesla runs like it does today, NASDAQ is going to pump. Meta's making big moves. Yeah, the threads. Meta's up to 295. I mean, it's gapping up, but it's still below yesterday's open for Meta. So, like, it's up a little bit in pre, but it's still below yesterday's open. So, it's not going too crazy yet. Meta has earnings Thursday, I believe, right? Let me make sure. I think it's Thursday. So again, today we got Microsoft, Google, Snapchat. We're going to be streaming Microsoft earnings here. So Microsoft, Google, Snapchat this evening. And then tomorrow morning we got AT&T, Boeing, Coca-Cola, Tilray, Thermo Fisher, Hilton, ADP, Union Pacific, CME Group. And then in the evening we got Meta, Chipotle, and a bunch of other ones. So yeah, Thursday. Oh wait. Oh no. So this is Wednesday. So yeah, Wednesday. What we're gonna do, and this will be a fun day. So Wednesday, what we're gonna do is we're gonna do the rate hike decision, and then we're gonna go from the rate hike decision to Meta earnings, and then we're gonna go from Meta earnings to I don't know, probably a crypto show or something like that is how we're gonna do it. But what's my favorite team? I'm an Astros fan. I am using Top Step. Again, they're a sponsor of mine though. So, but $49 combine right now is pretty cheap. Again, we got some earnings playing out today. We got a cushion built on one of these accounts too. Again, the goal is to build up a cushion. I need a cushion of like $200. I get a cushion of like $200 to $300. We can make that swing, take that risk, and get it done and get funded. Again, my what I have to worry about on this one account though is I can't go over like $700 in profit. I get $700, I'm funded, right? But I can't really go over. I don't want to go over that. I don't want to get anywhere close to 50% of the day. I still think I'm fine though. Even if I make 1,000 today, I should be good, to be honest. So I should even be able to make 1,000 today, but I don't want to risk it. Are you going to do the snap earnings today? We're going to cover them for sure. Yes. Well, most funded programs is Isranual. Most funded programs have like you can't just take huge size and YOLO the account and get funded. Like that's not a true judge of skill. It's not a true test of skill. Like anybody can buy a combine, take max size, and got a 50-50 chance of getting funded by just one big trade. You know what I mean? Anybody could do that, right? But that's not what they want because they want a true test of skill, which is reasonable. And so it used to be 30%. It used to be you had to have a minimum of 4 trading days, and you couldn't go over 30% of your profit in any one of those days. Basically, you couldn't make over on the $3,000 profit target, the 50K combine. You couldn't make over $1,000 a day. Basically, you had to make less than $1,000 a day. So you have 3 days to make $1,000 each day, and then you get funded if you get 3 good days. Well, they recently changed it to 50%. So now you just basically have to have two green days, 2 big days. But it's very reasonable. It's not an unreasonable one at all. Again, I mean, 50%, like you can still effectively do that. And I think a lot of people are going to do it. Like you can effectively, if you don't have that much money, you can effectively now buy an account. This is honestly kind of what I did. But you can buy a bunch of accounts, swing really hard. If you lose, buy another one, or reset your current one and try to make $1,500 or right around $1,500 in each of them, right? You get 2 or 3 accounts that you pull up that you make $1,500 on one day. Then the next day you got 3 chances to make the other $1,500. You do that, boom, you're funded. That's it. I would recommend going a little bit slower, but like the point is it's much easier it's really easy to get funded right now. And so last week I told you guys I'd be funded by the end of this week, and I certainly will. Like no question. Yeah, but options are so many. And again, if you want to check it out, there's a lot more to go about it. Again, they're sponsoring me, so like they pay me money, but I think they're really useful for traders because I think most traders, I think a lot of traders are going to lose these combines, and I think that's okay because I think most day traders lose money, and I'd rather them lose this where it's $49 if they lose and they still have some pressure and they lose anyway. It's not the end of the world. They're down $49. A lot of day traders are going to put up their huge account of $4,000 or $5,000, take huge risks, and lose that. And that happens to a lot of traders. And so it's much cheaper to try this, lose If you're good enough, you can still pass it. Once you pass it, there's 90% split, all that good stuff, you know. How long would you say it took you to become a comfortable trader? I mean, I think when you first get started trading, it's super exciting. Like you get all the rush of trading, like you get super excited. It's such a rush. Like I remember when I first got started trading, man, I used to get so excited for the opening bell. Like I would get up. I never drank coffee really before I started trading. So before I started trading, I was not really a coffee drinker, but I was so excited to trade the opening bell. And this is when I day traded penny stocks. Right. So I was so excited to wake up and see what penny stocks were gapping up. And I would try to trade all these crazy strategies and like buy high of the day breakouts and penny stocks. And I just thought I was cool, and I would get super excited about it. I was just like, oh man, penny stocks. And I would get really excited. My heart would start to beat. I would find all these gapping up penny stocks and I would just really obsess about the opening bell. And then the opening bell would happen and I'd inevitably lose money and get frustrated and turn my computer off. But I used to get super excited. But to be honest, if I'm being real, that excitement mostly stemmed from the rush of gambling when you first get started. Like that's what it is. It's the rush of gambling. Smart money is boring, Like you learn very quickly, like you get that rush because you're risking huge sums of money. And that rush is not necessarily good. And so it's much better. I still to clarify, I still get really excited to trade. Like, it's not like I don't get excited. I love trading. So I really do get excited to trade, but the rush is gone. Like I get excited. I like trading. I like interacting with the market. I like analyzing stuff. But when I take a position, I forget about it as soon as I take it. Now, especially with like my swing trades, bro, I take a position. So half the time when I get up the next morning, I don't even remember what I'm in. And so I think over time you mature as a trader and it becomes less exciting and less gambling and more analytical, kind of just, it's hard to explain. You become much more content with the risks in trading. It's less of a rush over time. And I still love it. Like I still enjoy doing it heavily. I get excited to do it. And this is 6 or 7 years later. And so I still love trading, but the rush goes away after time, and that's okay. Again, the real way you get good at building systems and trading is you got to be able to take trades and not care about it. You can't take a trade and be super concerned about it. Like I can, if I'm trying to get funded, that's a different story. Like, there's a little bit of rush that comes with that. But point is, you got to be able to take a position and be completely content with the risk you're taking in that trade. So she asked, how long before you became a comfortable trader? I thought that's what I was asking, or what I was answering. Yeah. I traded pennies, lost my butt, never looked back. Yeah, I mean, it's just, I'm not going to say it's a scam market. I'm not going to say it's a scam market, penny stocks. What I will say is that a lot of the market is propped up by gurus who are just kind of, I'm not going to say, it's hard to explain. Like, and I'm not shooting shots at anybody. Like, it's all good, but basically what I see in the penny stock market is you got these gurus who are telling everybody how profitable they are. And some might be profitable, and I think a lot of them aren't. Right? And so they're telling their followers how profitable they am as a penny stock guru, and then their followers eat it up, buy their courses. Right? Over time, the followers realize they can't make money actually trading penny stocks like that. They're not going to live off of it. And so they start to turn into a sleazy guru. And then they turn into a millionaire student, a millionaire student, guys. And then they start offering a course, and then they get followers that eat it up and buy it. And then those followers realize that they can't really live off of penny stock trading. And so those followers turn into a millionaire student. And then people start following them. And it's just a big cycle that goes back and forth, back and forth. And honestly, to a certain extent, it might be like that with the regular market anyway, to be honest. Like, it might be like that with every market. Yeah. But But that's the cycle I see with penny stocks. No. Am I a full-time trader? No. I certainly don't live off of my trading profits by any way. I'm green on TOS. I'm green on Moomoo. So I'm green on my 2 major stock exchange brokers on the year. So I'm up on the year, and I wouldn't be able to lie about that without getting in trouble. But I am green on the year in both of them. That's all I'll say. I don't need to be anything else other than that. It's not a scam if you know. Yeah, I mean, I'm not saying it's a scam, but there's certainly a cycle of it. I know you could certainly make money investing in markets. Stocks are certainly not scams. To be honest, Bo, you said every stock is a scam, even Tesla. I mean, I don't know if you're saying that sarcastically or what. Obviously, stocks are not scams. Blue chip, large cap stocks have the biggest edge of anything in the financial markets ever. Long-term, statistically proven edge. And what I mean by that, I'm not talking about day trading or even swing trading. I'm talking about buying, diversifying into healthy blue chip companies, and then sitting on those companies for 5, 10, 15 years is the single biggest edge you'll ever have in the market ever. And it's statistically proven over a century. So, I mean, we can say they're scams, but obviously they're not. I think you just got to know what the edge is, and you can't follow what's the most exciting, hottest thing. You got to just go with what the real edge is. Stock market is a casino. What does it mean? Well, there's many ways you could interpret stock market as a casino. One of them is like you gamble because you're risking money. Risking money is gambling. At the casino, you're gambling, and so they're going to correlate it to the same thing. The other way that I hear it in the context of trading is the stock market's a casino. You need to be the house. If the stock market's a casino, you should be the house. That's another cliched saying that I hear a lot, but yeah, and in trading, guys, like it's going to get really tempting to follow the hottest thing in the market and chase what's hot. It's really tempting to chase what's hot. If you've ever heard about a raccoon getting in a raccoon trap, right? The raccoon will put its claws into the trap if they put like a shiny piece of like aluminum, from my English people, aluminium, Sam, that's for you. But if you ever see a raccoon put its hand in a trap, right? And you put a piece of shiny aluminum in the trap, the raccoon will sit there with its hand stuck in the trap. It won't let go of the shiny thing sometimes. I think it's a raccoon. It might be something else. But basically, to get out of the trap, all the raccoon has to do is let his hands go and drop the shiny piece of whatever it is in the trap. But it's so mesmerized by the shiny piece of aluminum or whatever it is that it stays there, right? That's what happens in trading. Guys, that's what happens in trading, specifically penny stock trading. People are so wrapped up and mesmerized by how crazy and volatile and gambling and the rush of it that they stay in markets where they're obviously losing long term. I try not to do that. Like I feel like I've gone to a lot of different trading sectors. Like I used to trade penny stocks, and then I traded regular stocks, and I just kind of varied from sector to sector until I found something that I had a consistent edge in, and then I stayed there. Right. And I think that's what you have to do in trading. The first thing you try might not be what you're meant to like stay long term at in trading. The first thing you try might be better for somebody else, but you can't be so rigid that you refuse to let go of the first thing you learn. Like if you're trading penny stocks and you're losing money and you've been losing money for years, it's probably time to let that go and go find something else to trade. There's a lot of different ways to trade the market. Maybe it was John. I'm not sure. I thought it was a raccoon, but you might be right. It might be a monkey trap. Okay, got you. Yeah, sorry. I thought it was a raccoon. Maybe I was wrong. It's all good. But I guess my point, and I'm not hating on penny stock traders, and there's some penny stock traders that seem to really make money. I can't vet anybody for sure. Relentless Trader is like a friend of the channel. He seems to really make money. And so there's people that do it, but I don't think you can be super rigid with trading. I think people, I know when I first got started trading, man, I would trade high of the day breakouts, and I would just buy these high of the day breakouts, and I would just get dumped on after I bought the trade. I would buy these trades and I would just get slammed on. They would just slam me down and I would lose tons of money. But like I just kept on buying high of the day breakouts. That's the only sign of strength that I knew was high of the day breakouts and penny stocks. I'd buy them. You know, they would reject on me because experienced traders take profit at high of the day. So you get a lot of sells come in there. And I just kept doing it. Eventually I was like, hey, these high of the day breakouts suck. I'm going to go trade something else. And once I started trading other stuff, I found success in it. And so don't be too rigid. Figure out what you're good at, I think, is important. Yeah, diamond hands. So your average is 6. Are you going to close if you break even? No, man, I'm going to stay in it. I mean, listen, I was up yesterday in AMC. So I was up yesterday. AMC here, guys, was up at like what? AMC was up at like $9 at one point yesterday. If I wanted to sell and make 50%, I could have. I could have sold yesterday and made 50%. Maybe it was Friday. I could have sold Friday and made 50% at $6. What's half of 6? 3. What's 6 plus 3? 9. AMC basically hit 9 on Friday. I could have sold for 50% gains, but I didn't. All right, because I want to give it time. Like I've been in this thing for a year. I'm not going to get out break even. You know, I don't care that much about holding longer. I'm just going to keep holding longer. Yeah, no, I'm friends with Relentless. So that's what I said they seem to be profitable to me, Jessica. I'm not hating on Relentless. Again, I think they're profitable. I think he's profitable. He seems like a good trader. All right. I'm just skeptical of the whole penny stock market. And I've been pretty consistent with my views on it for years now. And again, maybe I'm just mad because I lost at it when I first got started. That's true too. That's possible. I'm not, again, it's possible I'm wrong here. I just don't think I am, you know. What's your origin story? What got you even started trading penny stocks? Well, I mean, I'm sure, honestly, I'm pretty sure my story is probably very similar to like a lot of people's story in trading. So I saw the movie The Big Short, right? I was always like a poker player. Poker was like my first game that I really like loved in strategy. And there's a lot of parallels between poker and trading, a lot of parallels. Like poker is very similar to trading. Calculating pot odds in poker is basically the same thing as calculating risk reward. You're using mathematics and risk calculations in poker versus stocks. It's very similar, right? So, and I was also like a chess player, a checkers player. I like strategy games. But I never really stepped into the market at all, really, up until my mid-20s. And when I was in my mid-20s, I started to, Carol and I went and saw the movie in theaters, The Big Short. And when we went and saw it, I had no idea what a short was. But I saw The Big Short. If you've never seen it, watch it. It's a great movie. Great movie. And, you know, a lot of that movie is about, if you don't know what The Big Short is, it's got like Brad Pitt and Christian Bale. And like, it's a big movie. Margot Robbie and like all of them. And it's a movie about what it sounds like. It's about a big short position that they took in 2008. There was a bunch of different traders that took a big short position. And I realized how much money was floating around the stock market and that I could use strategy principles like that I learned in poker and trading. But what do? I come home and I Google day trading or trading, and what pops up is Tim Sykes, millionaire students, you know. Do you want financial freedom? You know? And so I started to learn penny stocks. And I remember I watched like Sean Deckmar stuff. I watched Tim Sykes, you know. I watched Bulls on Wall Street. I remember all that. After a certain point, though, I just remembered like penny stocks are getting halted and then gapping down, and then they're getting offerings slammed on them. And like there's just so much risk in penny stocks. Like even if you have a consistent strategy edge in penny stocks, right? Like even if you have that consistent strategy edge, it's so hard to find consistent results with it because, you know, you can get halted. Like the stock can get halted and gap down $5 a share and you lose 90% of your trade. They can announce an offering randomly in the middle of the day and dilute their company and just tank the stock 50%. Like it's so hard to find consistent volume and volatility in penny stocks, and you have to have much more discipline. And so for new traders, it's the worst thing they could trade. And a lot of them are pretending to be profitable when they're actually not. And some are actually profitable. Like I said, I think Relentless is a good trader. He's a trading friend of mine. But I think for new traders, it's the worst thing they could learn to trade. The worst thing, because I think it builds a lot of bad habits in trading. It builds a lot of gambling habits. And again, maybe I'm biased because I suck at penny stock trading. That's possible. But yeah. Margin call is great. Yeah. But the problem is, like, people get so defensive with me about it because it's like I'm attacking their dream, but a lot of the time they've been fed a wrong dream, right? A lot of the time, like, people are just pandering to their desires. They're selling them a dream. They're selling them a get rich quick scheme. They're saying, hey, you want financial freedom? You can get rich trading penny stocks. Look at me. I turned $1,000 into $300K in 30 days. Buy my course, guys. Buy my course. Right? Where it's like consistent gains like that are not possible. Like, you could gamble and make a bunch of money, but doing that consistently is never going to happen. But for whatever reason, it's sold to young retail investors who eat it up. And anybody that tells them that it's not possible, they attack and they get weird with and they get defensive with. And then they just kind of keep on keeping on doing the same thing, And so, again, I'm not attacking them, but, like, let's just be real here for a second. Penny stock market is incredibly difficult to make money in. And y'all just got to be careful. Again, there's some people that do it. Relentless, great trader. Again, he's a friend of mine. But y'all got to just be careful with the other guys, Hey, what's up, UV? Microsoft earnings, man. I think Microsoft, dude, honestly, they're expecting a pretty big earnings report here. If you look at Microsoft, to be honest here, if we look at this, Microsoft expecting 254 EPS on 55.4 billion in sales. That's a pretty big. Look, here's Microsoft's EPS graph, just to put this into perspective, okay? So we're going to see if they can hit it. 245 is what they showed last time. They're expecting 254. So they are expecting their highest earnings EPS since 2021 in September. Right? So they're expecting their highest quarterly EPS since 2021 in September, 254. Last time they showed 245, 220 before that, 235 before that, 224 before that. So that is one thing. And then we can look at their revenue graph as well. And again, you can kind of see they are expecting their largest revenue quarter ever. Or no, I'm sorry. Oh, no, they are expecting their largest revenue quarter ever for Microsoft. Okay, so to put this into perspective here, guys, look at this. So here's their last one right here. There's their last quarter. It came in at 52.85 billion, 52.86 if you round up. Their expectation for today, this evening, is way up here at 255 or at 55 billion versus, what is this? I think this is 52 billion. So yeah, we'll call it 53 billion was their last report. They're expecting 55.5 billion. So they are expecting something like this to come in, right? And again, they are one of the first ones to get involved with AI. Microsoft owns OpenAI, or they own the majority of it, or whatever it is. So Microsoft owns the majority in OpenAI, and they are expecting a huge quarter this quarter. So again, we are going to stream the entire Microsoft earnings live like we always do here, guys. So be ready for that. AMC still sitting tight around 540. Hasn't really moved up too much today. We do have some stuff. We had earnings today. We got Spotify, a bunch of other ones. We also have CB Consumer Confidence later today that's dropping. So we'll see if we hit that too. I actually trade Tesla and some penny stocks. Yeah, it's all good, Jessica. Diversifying is the right, you know. I think what happens is like people stay really stagnant in trading because they don't try other markets. Like I said, I can use myself as an example so y'all can learn from my mistakes. When I first got started trading, I traded high of the day breakouts constantly. Just got dumped on every time I traded it. I would buy a high of the day breakout, boom, it would slam down 20%. I'd buy a high of the day breakout, boom, it would slam down 30%. And I would just do it over and over again to a point where at a certain point I stopped myself and I was like, hey man, I'm buying these high of the day breakouts like everybody else is telling me to do. But every time I do it, I get dumped on. And so I'm just going to stop buying high of the day breakouts. And I'm instead just going to buy the pullback afterwards. I can buy a pullback after we test high of the days. It pulls back a little bit, still in that upward trend. And that's probably going to work a lot better. And so I started learning the volume weighted average price, the VWAP. And I started using the 200 EMA, and I started waiting for stocks to dip down to that VWAP level, that 200 EMA, and I would buy those up, and that worked incredibly well. Overnight, I basically started making good, consistent income doing it. And it was mostly because I stopped doing the same thing, expecting a different result. Einstein's definition of insanity is just that. So, I don't know. I think I'm biased against high the day breakouts. But the point is, diversify your strategies. Try out different things. See what you like more. There's pros and cons to each. Penny stocks have more momentum, more potential, I guess I'll say. Large caps have more consistent moves. So you could watch the same. You can learn how a specific large cap moves. I used to love AMD. I would joke around and say, AMD is my baby. I trade it every day. And I would trade it every day. And the reason I would trade it every day is because it had consistent patterns. It would do day in and day out. It's much easier to learn what one stock does over and over and over again than have to find a completely new stock every single day in penny stocks, find consistent volatility. I get it. You just tend to find trades where they're not there with that type of stuff. So I think having multiple different ways to trade is good. Coin. Yeah. Yeah, VWAP's the one, man. That's the best. That's the best indicator in the game. I mean, you'll see me with the 200 EMA up a lot, but the VWAP, powerful. I got multiple monitors too, so while you might not see it here, I'm using the VWAP a ton. Largest revenue for Microsoft makes sense, but I'm skeptical if all the new business has margins, so I'm thinking EPS miss. Maybe. Microsoft is a great stock for beginners, just a money machine, a high beta stock relatively. Great outlook and great EPS and revenue, good growth potential, AI play, but solid fundamentals. Yeah, for sure. I like Microsoft a lot. And again, Microsoft, I don't think their PE ratio is like crazy high. Let me see. So I don't know what their PE ratio is. Let me look this up. But I don't think it's like crazy high. Microsoft PE ratio is 37. So it's really not that bad. The crazy part with Microsoft is like Microsoft has been on one of the craziest runs we've seen this year. AI and OpenAI and Chat GPT gains have propelled this thing much higher. But the crazy part is that it's actually kept up with its earnings for the most part. You know, to put it into perspective, here is a daily chart for Microsoft. So you can see how big of moves this thing has made this year. Yet the PE ratio is still under 40. To put that into perspective, if you look at something like AMD, right? You look at something like AMD, another AI play, the PE ratio right now for AMD is 600, basically, just under 600. If you look at the PE ratio for NVIDIA right now, NVIDIA's PE ratio currently is 230. Right. So for Microsoft to have a PE ratio under 40 right now, conventionally good is like 20 to 30. Under 20 is typically considered good. But I think we're a little bit past that with the inflation, with the AI stuff, with the crazy runs. Most stocks are not having like conventionally good PE ratios. If you don't know what a PE ratio is, it's price to earnings. So yeah, that's what we got right now. But Microsoft, like I said, is really kept up with its gains to a certain extent. So it's not one of those if we're talking about extension, Microsoft seems to me, and again, I can't say for sure. I have no idea. I might be wildly wrong. Microsoft might crash tomorrow. I have no idea. Don't copy me, not an investment professional. But Microsoft, relative to his PE ratio, seems nice. So let me know what you guys think. No, not necessarily, Alexis. So like the volume weighted average price, and we've got a lot of great content. The most of our like tutorials in trading are based around the volume weighted average price. And the VWAP is a trend indicator. So it's a intraday trend indicator for the most part. So like as an example, here's Microsoft on this specific day. Okay, so this purple line is the VWAP right here. This purple line is the VWAP. So it is a trend indicator. So if we are below the VWAP like this, the market's in a downward trend. So every time it bounces up to the VWAP, you can kind of see it rejecting. And so you'll get a really nice trend identification from that. Like look at the rejection directly off of the volume weighted average price because it pulls back. You could wait for the bounce to the VWAP, take the short, and then write it down if you like shorting. Or if you like the long side here. Some days are just choppy where we're just going to cross chop. We're just going to chop up and down over and under the VWAP. It's just not going to be a favorable day. We could look back at some other days. Sorry, I'm trying to find a green day here. So you can kind of see what I mean. Let me look at a 5-minute chart. All right, so here's a pretty good example right here, right? So the VWAP is an intraday trend indicator, just a trend indicator. It doesn't even have to be intraday. And so you can kind of see when we're over the VWAP like this, we're in an upward trend, right? But the trend doesn't have to stay the same. Sometimes the trends change. So you can see we're maintaining over the VWAP, we're holding over it. Then we break underneath the VWAP, and then we pivot to a downward trend. You can see we bounce back to the VWAP there, and then we reject off of it. And it's not perfect. Like it's not always going to work, but a lot of times traders use it for trend identification. Right. Well, traders use the VWAP. Todd says smart money uses VWAP, and that's a big reason why you get such reactions. That's exactly right. So like technical trading in general is all self-fulfilling. So like, what do I mean by that? It means the most obvious patterns are the ones that are going to work the best, right? And so one of the reasons I like using the VWAP is because it has consolidated interest. Like there's so many traders that watch the volume weighted average price that when you get pullbacks to it, a lot of the time other traders see those pullbacks and they buy it and ride the bounce and attack that trend. So basically when it forms a trend, other traders attack the same trend. And so with that, the VWAP is valuable because other traders are paying attention to it. Because again, technical patterns are all self-fulfilling. So they work because other people think they work. And so like anytime I see somebody that has some super obscure like pattern like that has all these crazy names, I usually just ignore it because in order for a pattern to really work, it needs to be obvious enough for other traders to see it. Because if other traders can't recognize the pattern, it's not going to work, you know. Crash or not, I don't know. Yeah, energy stocks are different though. Yair. Is it Yair or Yair? I'm thinking of like Yair Rodriguez, the UFC fighter. Great UFC fighter. He lost to Volkanovski the other day, but he's still good. I like Yair. But I believe his name is pronounced Yair. And so if I'm pronouncing it wrong, bro, just let me know. So it's Yair? Got you. I use VWAP just to find the fair price. Yeah, no worries, Alexis. Yeah, and if y'all haven't already, like again, if you've been following my content for a while and you haven't seen my VWAP tutorials, those are some of the biggest. These VWAP tutorials are really what helped grow my channel. So like these VWAP tutorials are really what started beginner trading. We got some really old ones. If you guys know Money Mitch at Benzinga, he used to run the channel with me here at Beginner Trading. So him and I created these VWAP tutorials years and years ago. Again, if we look at this here, you can see we got the advanced VWAP here. We've got concepts here, VWAP bounce strategy. There's just a lot of different ones. We've got these scalping strategies, but watch these VWAP tutorials. We got a bunch of different ones. Okay, gotcha. AMC like Target and Disney. Yeah, but I mean, Florida, no offense, man, but I'm just going to be real about this for a second. You said Target wasn't a good trade, and then it pushed up pretty big. It ended up going from 129s to 135s as a swing trade. And so one thing I noticed, man, is that anything political based, you're taking the right side of it. And I think that's causing you some bias that's negatively influencing, like, again, I bought Target. It was a great trade. You told me that was a bad trade. I bought Disney and my average is like 85s. Disney is currently at about 86 still. So I'm still green on that one too. And so I guess my point is like, I would hold more weight in your predictions if you didn't just take whatever was the left-leaning company and pick against it, you know? And so I guess like anybody could do that. They could just bet on their political party. But I think there's too much bias there, and I think the market's more nuanced than that. Again, Target had a big drop. Target's dropped from 160s down to 120s, right? And so I think the PE ratio was low. I think objectively, when you look at that, there's some value there. And we made money on it. We wrote it up really nicely, made some money on it. And so I don't think you can I don't think just going against, I don't think just siding with your political party is a profitable strategy for trading, I guess is the point. And again, I'm not really super political. I'm pretty neutral politically, honestly. I try not to talk about it, but I'm very socially left-leaning. But I ultimately believe like that you should be able to do whatever you want to do as long as it's not hurting anybody else, right? Like that's what I truly believe. And I'm a capitalist, like I believe in business, and I think capitalism's great, and I think it helps us have a high standard of living in this country relative to others, and if you don't think we do, that's a different story as well. But so my point is, I'm pretty middle ground, honestly. But I think there's some trades where you got to ignore politics, and I just see that bias pop up time and time again. But it's all good. It's all love here. It's whatever, Hey, what's up, Stan? All right, guys. So AMC it's not really moving that much. Let's see. Thoughts on Spotify? I don't know, man. I don't know enough about Spotify. Man, what an emotional guy, man. Florida, man, let it out, dude. How emotional do you got to be? Like, I don't think I said anything super disrespectful. I just said, hey, taking the other side of like, again, just making your stock trading super political is not profitable. And so, his next words, you are a loser trader. Man, emotion. Let it out, bro. It's all right. Let it out, man. Sheesh, dude. People on the internet are weird, bro. Oh, it's all good. Cheers to him, guys. Get your good day sirs out in chat here. What's on your thoughts on Rivian? Yeah, politics and trading don't mix. If you bring it here and all you push is one political side constantly in my chat, I'm eventually gonna say something. If you want, like, and honestly, the crazy part is like it should be all up. Like I should be able to say what I just said. I didn't say anything super disrespectfully. I didn't say anything that should be like super bad. Nothing. And so again, my guy's just emotional. That's the reality. He's just emotional. Like that's like a childish lash out is what I see from that, man. But I think like if you put so much weight in who you are based off of your political party, I think that's what happens. I truly think that's kind of what happens. And I'm just not that. I'm just going to kind of, for that reason, I try to ignore politics. I'm probably talking about it too much now. But, certainly political sentiment moves stocks. Absolutely, Dev. Absolutely. Not arguing that at all. Again, I'm a dip buyer. TGT has been in a pretty big dip for the last like 3 months. It's down a lot. The PE ratio is low. It has objective value, and I bought it at 129, right? And again, when I bought it at 129, My guy was over there saying, "Oh, that's not a wise trade. That's a bad trade." He got kind of like weird about it. And then I wrote it up, and it's had, since I bought it, it's had 4 out of 5 green days where it's pushed up from 120s to almost 140, right? And so, of course, I'm going to sit here and be like, hey, bro, you said the same thing about Target, and now Target's up a lot, and I'm loving life in that trade. And so, again, I think some people just don't like to be wrong. But cheers to you guys. Hey, I'm drinking my LSU mug today. Go Tigers, you know. Keeping emotions and opinions out of trading is best. Price is king. Everything else is just noise. You gave him a very reserved response. Well done. 100%, man. I thank you so much. Yeah, again, I have to bring up, I thought what you said was not only right, but fair. Yeah, I think I was. What do you mean by pushing one political side? What I mean is, like, if every time I bring up a stock, somebody tells me about how that stock is going to fail because of their political stance, right? Every time I bring up a stock, if I get the same response, eventually in that stock, and I do buy the stock and it goes up, look, it's fine to take that side, but if I say I told you so, you got to be ready for that too, because I mean that's a natural consequence. If you tell me no, don't buy this stock, and then I buy it, and then that stock goes up, you better believe I'm going to say I told you so a little bit. I mean, that's a natural expectation, I think, right? But it's all love here. Again, I kind of troll people a little bit, and so it's all good, man. RTX and Lockheed Martin. Wait, you guys are making profitable trades? Sometimes we're not. Yeah, I mean, Jeff, you got to understand. From my end, it depends on whether I can make content out of it, Jeff. If I feel like I can make some humorous content about it, I will. Maybe I'm feeding the trolls a little bit too much. Yeah, I'll good be. Right, exactly, Helena. Just don't let it influence your trading. That's all it is, to be honest. I don't know. Yeah, for sure. Yeah, I saw it, Pawn. I'm pretty sure I saw it. Let me scroll back. All right. Well, I mean, Fred, go somewhere else, man. Like I said, dude, it's one of those things where I'm here to learn what. It's one of those things, Fred, where number one, I'm gonna say the obvious thing. Number one, Disney just bounced up. I don't know if it's the 8 a.m. scrum. Actually, this is probably just the 8 a.m. scrum. Number one, I think my guess, Fred, if I'm being honest, man, and I'm gonna preface this with like it's all love, okay? I think you might side with that other political party, and me saying what I said frustrated you, and that's okay. Listen, I'm not against conservatives either here, guys. Like I'm really pretty neutral politically, right? And so I'm not attacking you guys, all right? What I'm saying is you can't let politics influence your trades purely. You can't go based off of pure politics and trading. It's not going to be the right move. That's all I was trying to say in the first place. Number two is that if you want to go somewhere else, man, go. Like, listen, I'm not stopping you. I'm not going to beg you to stay, dude. Like, we're going to talk about other stuff outside of the stock market, obviously. Listen, we cover a lot of the big news that drops, but there's going to be slow periods of the day where just nothing else is going on. Nothing's really going on right now. It's 8 a.m. in the morning. The market doesn't open up for an hour and a half. We cover all the big earnings, and we're just kind of sitting back watching the stock market. You better believe we're going to talk about other stuff. We're going to talk about pop culture. I'm going to talk about the Astros game that we won. Astros, go Stros. And that's going to be a reasonable expectation for me. And if that's not what you want, it's all love here. Go watch somebody else. It's okay. I'm not going to beg you to stay. Pump this, talk about whatever. Yeah, hey. Yeah, for sure, Dustin. What is the 8 a.m. scrum? So the 8 a.m. scrum is like overnight, you get a bunch of random orders getting filled. So people that placed their orders yesterday, a lot of the time, certain brokers don't fill those orders until 8 a.m. the next day, right? 8 a.m. the next morning. So what we get is something called the 8 a.m. scrum, which just means like a bunch of random orders got filled from overnight, is what it is. Okay, all good, Fred. Listen, I hate politics too, bro. You know, which is why I like your opinion on stuff, John. Hey, thank you. I appreciate it. Thank you, Kurt, who I've never seen ever before, randomly showing up with no profile picture. Healthcare just down a tad. Yeah. I mean, listen, I troll you guys, but it's all love. You know, I really do. I appreciate you guys. I really do. You know? But I sit here for 4 hours every day, and so I'm gonna poke fun and mess around and do whatever I want to do, and that's just kind of again, that should be a reasonable expectation, I think. Again, we should be getting funded today. Hey, what's up, Wilfredo? Green Day today, 85%. Market's not even open. Yeah. What's going on with market reaction to rate hike tomorrow? Yeah, I think one of the things with the rate hike decision is that a large majority of people are expecting a 25 basis point rate hike. If you look at the CME group, if you look at the CME, whoa. Okay, so yeah, they were expecting 99% of people are expecting a 25 basis point rate hike. If you look at the CME, actually, I could just show you guys this directly. I don't need to clip it. If you look at this, the rate hike decision is tomorrow evening or tomorrow afternoon. 99% of people are expecting a rate hike decision. Now, what this means, okay, so when we're looking at inflation, right? If inflation's really bad, they raise rates more aggressively. And if we're somewhere in the middle, they pause or skip, which is where we're at now. And if inflation is low and recession fears are high, they're going to cut rates, right? But we're not going to cut rates for a while. Chances are that we are definitely going to raise rates tomorrow. We're going to raise rates by 25 basis points. We're not going to do anything outside of that. If they did, it would be a huge shock to the system that Jerome Powell's not going to do. Right, they're not going to do anything outside of the expected 25 basis point rate hike, and that's an important thing to understand. Right, it's an important thing to understand. The rate hike decision is tomorrow. It's almost certain that they're going to do a 25 basis point rate hike. What's going to matter more so than the decision on whether they're going to raise rates 25 basis points, which they probably are, is going to be what Jerome Powell says, what his stance is, what his tone is like when they interview him at 2:30. So at 2 p.m. on the dot, they're going to announce the rate hike decision. Again, I'm going to tell you now, they're going to announce 25 basis points. After that, at 2:30, Jerome Powell, the chairman of the Fed, is going to do an interview, and that interview is going to influence the market more than the rate hike decision. To be honest, he's going to do an interview, and we're going to analyze his stance, or what they call his tone, whether he's hawkish or dovish. Hawkish is pushing a more restrictive monetary policy, like more rate hikes, basically, like more restrictive, more rate hikes. And dovish is more expanding monetary policy. So basically, we're going to look for bearish, bullish stance on Jerome Powell during this interview tomorrow. And that's going to be really important. And then tomorrow morning, we've got big earnings. Today, we have Microsoft earnings, Google earnings, Snapchat earnings. So this evening, we're going to stream those earnings. We're going to stream Microsoft's full call. And then we're going to cover all the other ones, Google, Microsoft, Snapchat, right at 4 p.m. when the market closes today. Those earnings are going to come out. And then after that today, tomorrow, we're going to do the rate hike decision at 2 p.m. is when they announce the rate hike decision. And at 2:30, they're going to do the press conference. And then after that, tomorrow, we're going to do Meta earnings. And so the next 3 days are going to be incredibly busy. Today, this morning's one thing. Tomorrow is big, right? And then Thursday, we got some stuff going on in the morning as well. So Thursday, I think we have jobless claims. Let me take a look at like what we got going on. All right, so this week is big for a few different reasons, right? So let me break this week down. All right, so again, today we have Microsoft, Google, Snapchat earnings. Tomorrow we have the rate hike decision, CB consumer confidence data in the morning. today. We have the rate hike decision tomorrow afternoon. And then we also have building permits and new home sales in the morning, and then the rate hike decision in the afternoon, and then Meta earnings in the evening. And then Thursday, we have durable good orders and GDP data coming out. So GDP data for recession risks. GDP data is incredibly relevant. They're expecting 2%. Wait, did they revise it to 1.7% for the second quarter? I think they might have. Last time it was 2%. Let me see. Yeah, so again, GDP data is expected. I'm showing on Bloomberg right now. It's expected at 1.7%. Let me look at what MarketWatch is expecting here. But again, GDP data, the technical definition of a recession is 2 consecutive losing GDP quarters back to back plus high unemployment. That's the technical definition. And so in that regard, GDP data is incredibly important. And that drops Thursday. And then Friday, we have, the CPI is the consumer price index. It's the biggest inflationary gauge that the retail market looks at. But the Fed actually looks at something called the personal consumption expenditure. It's a more accurate gauge of inflation in the Fed's eyes. That drops Friday. And so we got a huge week this week where every day we got something big going on. It's going to be a very busy week. And again, Monday and Tuesday today and yesterday are slow. The rest of the week's pretty busy. So I am showing for GDP 2% on MarketWatch. Let me know what y'all are seeing there regarding GDP data on Thursday. And then Friday, we got the PCE. That's expected at 0.2% month over month. We'll see if we hit that or not. But yeah, that is this week so far. And that's not even including the earnings of Microsoft, Google. We got AT&T, Boeing, Coca-Cola tomorrow morning, Tilray, Thermo Fisher, ADP. We got Meta, Chipotle, ServiceNow, eBay. We got McDonald's, Southwest, MasterCard, Crocs. I'm curious to see what Crocs does, bro. Crocs are like $80 a shoe. What happened? All right, so Thursday evening, we don't really have anything big. So Thursday evening, I'm going to get a well-needed break from streaming because for the rest of the afternoon and morning, we're going to be busy. And then Friday, we got a bunch of oil plays and earnings. We got Exxon, Chevron, a bunch of other ones. 1.7 is what is, yeah, that's what I'm showing as well. Can you repeat that about when they raise or lower rates? So yeah, I mean, it's pretty simple. So like the procedure of the Fed here, goes like this. But yeah, so the procedure is like this, right? So when inflation is really bad, the Fed is more aggressive. They're more hawkish. They raise rates. The reason they raise rates is when they raise the federal funds rate, it makes banking more expensive. When banking is more expensive, the banks raise interest rates to compensate for that, if that makes sense, right? So when the federal funds rate is raised, it makes banking more expensive. When banking is more expensive, banks raise interest rates on consumers. And that is the correlation there. When banks raise interest rates on consumers, people stop spending as much because interest rates are high, right? And what happens when people stop spending as much? Prices drop to remain competitive. That is the cycle of rate hikes, okay? That is why the Fed raises rates. That's the theory and the use and the utility behind raising rates is to curb inflation. Ultimately, down the line, it makes prices drop. Now, we've been in a market where inflation has been really bad over the last couple of years, although the last 12 months, we've seen consistent improvements in inflation. We've come in better than expected every month for the last 12 months straight. And so inflation is looking better now. We're still well above targets, of course. But with the bank issues that we had earlier this year, it's not just inflation fears that we have to worry about. We also have to worry to a certain extent about recession fears with the bank struggles. And the banks, when those regional banks failed earlier this year, they blamed their failures on a lot of different things. But one of the big things they blamed their failures on was the rate hikes that we were getting. And so this last cycle, the last 6-week cycle, the Fed skipped or paused or whatever they want to call it, basically insinuating that it wasn't a long-term change in their monetary policy. Like they weren't going to continue to pause
for the immediate future. And so what we're probably going to get tomorrow is a rate hike, 25 basis points. And what Jerome Powell said during the last meeting is that he expects there to be 2 more rate hikes this year. And there's 4 left. There's tomorrow and then 3 more, right? So he's basically expecting them to raise rates 2 out of 4, 50% of the next future rate hike decisions, FOMC meetings this year. So that's the stance. All right, thoughts on Meta earnings. Meta will be interesting too. It'll be really important to watch, and we're definitely going to stream the whole thing because of all the crazy stuff that's going on with AI, with Threads, and with Meta. Any chance for surprises in rate hike? Well, I mean, there's chances. Like, they could go with something outside the expected. It's highly unlikely. And again, Jerome Powell doesn't want that because that'll cause kind of like a shock or a jolt to the system a little bit. Like if 99% of people are expecting 25 basis point rate hike and then they skip or pause, that's going to shock the system a little bit, and that's not necessarily what he wants. How do I get on Moomoo, bro? Yeah, somebody told me yesterday, they were like, bro, have you ever tried to take money out of Moomoo? It's impossible. You know? And so yesterday, I was like, hey, oh no, man, is Moomoo not letting you take money out? And so then I tried, bro. They processed my withdrawal in less than a day. I wired money out of there. I got it in my account yesterday. Like I processed it and got it yesterday. So like, yes, it's just like TOS. It's just like TOS and withdrawal. Very easy to withdraw. I got my money out. I withdrew it. Somebody was acting like they just like Moomoo worked great. If you wire money out, you get it same day. At least I got it same day. I guess it depends on your bank, but now my bank is set up. I can put money in, withdraw it easily. And with that said, if anybody hasn't checked out Moomoo is really nice, man. Hold on one second, guys. But yeah, if you haven't already checked out Moomoo, let me show you. Moomoo is what I switched over from TOS on, and Moomoo is just really nice, to be honest, man. Like their platform is really cool. All right, sorry, I had to get rid of there we go. Got too many monitors. Yeah, the withdrawals are very quick. Walgreens trade's still doing nicely here, man. I don't know what to do with that one. But yeah, if you check out Moomoo here, like, look, check out Moomoo. The reason I like Moomoo is because I can go to this explore section and it'll show me the best performing stocks in that sector. I can go to stock heat map and see a heat map of everything that's up, down in these different sectors. I can go to hot stocks here and see what's moving in hot stocks, pre-market rankings, after hours rankings, IPOs, Chinese privatization, Hong Kong, comprehensive rankings. I can go to hot strategies here and see triple bottoms, head and shoulders, arc bottoms, horn bottoms, bullish flag patterns, bullish symmetrical triangles, and it'll give me a list of all the securities actually doing those patterns, which is really, really cool, honestly. Really, really cool. I could also go to futures analysis, check out futures, divvy payments, announcements, IPOs, broker rankings. I can build my own screener by PE ratio. We were talking about PE ratio. I can build my own screener there. Incredibly useful in that regard also. And this is all free. It's a free platform. I can go to the news section and see an economic calendar. So you guys hear me talk about all the economics going on. I can see exactly what's going on there. I can see what's on my watch list. I can go to the biggest headlines of the day and see what's moving before the bell. And their news section is really nice. Their paperfolio section allows you to copy other traders. So their paperfolio section allows you to copy other traders. I can see what's in their portfolio. I can go to monthly and see this guy's up 140% on the month. I can see his portfolio of what he's holding. This guy, this person's got all these lists. They're up 33% on the month, and Rivi and Upstart, Mara, Neo. And again, I can follow these traders if I want to copy them trade for trade in terms of what they're doing. Again, really, really useful. I can go to markets right here and see the Asia Pacific market, Europe market. I can look at PE ratio right here and see what's going on in that regard. Bonds, see different ETFs, see Forex, futures, all that good stuff. And again, there's just a small piece. There's zero commission stock and options trades as well. Actually, I don't know if it's zero commission options trades, but I know it's zero commission stock trades. And if you open up an account and deposit $100, they give you 5 free stocks. If you open up an account and deposit $1,000 at least, they give you 15 free stocks. If you open up an account and deposit over $5K, they give you the previous 15 plus a free share of Google or Tesla. And I did get Tesla. It's a really nice. They're the platform I've been using for a while now. And again, no complaints here for me, but they are a sponsor of mine, so I'm definitely biased. But check them out. Here's the link. Yeah, there's the link right there if you guys want to check it out. Their fills are fine, man. Their fills weren't bad at all. Honestly, I trade with them pretty regularly. And so, again, what I like about Moomoo is that in pre-market, for instance, right, number one is they open up at 4 a.m. So I can trade these at 4 a.m. if I wanted to, super early in pre-market. What I like about them is that, you know, in pre-market, you can only use limit orders, right? So you can only use limit orders, but they have this thing that allows me to specify, like I can say, hey, I want to use a limit order, but I want it to follow the market price. And so that way it'll give me an immediate fill. I could say, hey, I want it to follow the mid-range price between the bid and ask, and it'll give me a fill there. I can say, I want you to follow the bid, follow the ask price, and do it that way, and it'll give me a fill there. And so it's very useful for that. And again, I don't have any complaints. They fill pretty fast. We'll stick around. We'll talk about the funded thing. Financial juice GDP at 1.8%. Thank you, Sam. Yeah, I'm trying to check it out. I'm showing 2% on some other areas. So it varies. I don't know what I want to do with I've been in Walgreens for the last week. Again, another one of those trades that people tried to talk me out of when I took it. My average price on Walgreens currently is $29.21 for Walgreens. $29.21. The SPY dipping down a little bit now. Just look at that. So $29.21 is my average price on Walgreens. And Walgreens is at 30.60s. So another one of those trades that has been really good to me. You think AMC will have a run up today? I think it could. We're watching it for volatility after all the craziness that happened. Again, today we got CB consumer confidence data as well. All right, guys. When is Spotify earnings? They already dropped theirs earlier today. What causes the 8 a.m. pop, and can you get filled on those pops? No, those are mostly just rogue orders getting filled randomly. You're not going to get filled there, and it's not actual strength or weakness. It's just kind of random orders getting filled. It happens on most platforms. John, what platform would you say is the best for Top Step? I use Quant Tower. I like Quant Tower the best, to be honest. Like, and I'll tell you the story. So Top Step's a sponsor of mine, right? And so when they first sponsored me, one of the rules was that I had to use Quant Tower as the platform, right? So I started to use it, and at first I was more familiar with Trade Evade, right? But I'm being honest, because that's kind of what happened. It's like I was to only use Quant Tower for the first few months, and at that point I was familiar with Trade Evade. But at this point in time, Quant Tower is much better in my opinion. I love using Quant Tower. Again, at this point in time, I could use, like, the contract no longer has exclusivity to Quant Tower, but I'm still using Quant Tower because Quant Tower is dope, man. It's just much better. It's much easier to use. It's much more like Moomoo or Toss in terms of trading platform. It's a little bit less simple than Trade Evade, but again, I'm still using Quant Tower because again, I can use Trading View. I tried out Trading View because you can use like Trading View as your chart or platform. So I tried out that. I tried out Trade Evade some, but again, I just like Quant Tower more now. So I've grown to like it much more than any of the other ones. So you can still trade off the VWAP and futures, right? Well, you can. It might be at different spots. What I like to do a lot of the time, though, Alexis, like the SPY is basically the E-mini. Like when you look at the E-mini, you're basically looking at the SPY and vice versa. A lot of the time, I'll look at just the SPY. I won't even look at the E-mini chart. I'll just purely trade off the SPY chart using the VWAP and all that stuff and pre-market data because it's the same price action. But that way I can get a little bit more reasonable judge of the VWAP, if that makes sense, you know. Yeah, it's a lot of platforms don't let you trade until 8 a.m. And so at 8 a.m., you're going to get a bunch of overnight orders going through, but you're not actually going to be able to get filled at those orders. It's not true price action. It's not rogue. I just kind of use rogue to say random orders getting filled from overnight. Yeah, I mean, it doesn't matter how I refer to them. It's all the same thing. Yeah, the VWAP's just an indicator. You can use it on most platforms. And we do have CB consumer confidence data as well today. Today's going to be fun, man. Microsoft earnings should be pretty eventful. Yeah, all good. John, with how you trade, have you ever thought about Bollinger Bands? I mean, I have. I've seen them. I've tried them. It's just not really my style. I like to just kind of stick with what works for me right now in trading and what works for my trading. What works for me now has been working. Let me think of a better way to say that. I'm going to stick with what's been working with me, I guess is a better way to say it. Like if we look at, so here is my graph this month in July. So this is my graph, and this is the one we're going to get funded in probably today, hopefully today, maybe not though. But like I said, we're definitely going to get funded before the end of the week, and hopefully a couple of these, to be honest. But like, again, you can kind of see my graph. This is my month. That's my profit graph. So far throughout this $3,000 goal, we're running about a 3-to-1 win to loss ratio. So out of every 3 trades, or out of every 4 trades, we're winning on 3 of them. Or no, every 3 trades, we're winning on 2 of them, actually. But point is, we're making money. John, do you have any opinion on moving averages? I use the 200 EMA. The 200 EMA is much longer term. When I use moving averages, they have to be long term. So they need to be long term. If they're not long term, I'm not going to trade them because there's so many. Like, I think a lot of traders start watching like the 9, the 12, the 20, the 25, the 30, like all that stuff, and it just ends up clouding their charts up. And a lot of the time, the moving average is just kind of following really closely to the stock itself, so it's not actually useful. Traders think it's more than it is. And so what I usually try to do is just look at only long-term, like milestone moving averages that are actually useful, you know. All right, so I'm wondering what we should do with Walgreens. Walgreens has been pumping up nice. Part of me wants to just take profit in that. Get the chart pattern out of the way. Let me get this out of the way too. S&P, NASDAQ. I've been using the 1 minute stuff on Chart Prime a little bit more too. Oh, wait, I think I need a pin. All right, so we did our poll here. We got about 500 votes. 32% of people think below $5 is where AMC is going to be. 29% think over $6 a share. 20% think over $8 a share. 19% think break even. This is Quant Tower, so in order to get the graph that I have, you got to use Quant Tower. And so again, here's my profit graph. You can see in gross profit, we're up about $3,200 or so, pretty close. All right, so we do have CB consumer confidence data at 10 a.m. today. We got Microsoft earnings this evening, guys. Just be ready for that. Yeah, we're looking at Walgreens. AMC still tried here. How is like cost? I know cost ripped up yesterday. AMC at 540 is pretty slow, man. Let's see if it gets up some volume at the opening bell today. Yeah, people might be waiting on earnings in the Fed. AMC earnings are in about 2 weeks from now, though. So AMC earnings are going to be August 8th. They originally had it scheduled for pre-market in the morning, but they switched to only doing it in the evening, which is good. I think it's good. CB consumer confidence. Nobody corrected me. In my title today, I had, quote, Spotify and Verizon earrings. It must be some nice earrings, you know. So we do have CB consumer confidence data. Sorry, guys. I'm just kind of getting ready. We got CB consumer confidence data dropping today. All right, so we had GE earnings, Verizon earnings, GM earnings, Spotify earnings. Spotify. All right, guys. So CB consumer confidence data today. We're watching the market kind of bounce back up a little bit short term, but not like a huge amount, but it is bouncing up a little bit. We're also going to throw it in sub only mode. So if you have not already, hit that subscribe button, guys. We appreciate it. We should be getting funded today, I think. It should be today. Snapchat earnings for sure. Yeah, Microsoft is this evening. August earnings are the worst. TransUnion? Man, I didn't even know they were a publicly traded company. Raytheon? What's RTX doing? Raytheon breaking down all the way down at 91.90s here for that one. All right. All right, so again, guys, I'm going to give you the breaking story of the day, or the biggest stories of the day. Again, AMC being watched heavily today, even though it's moving kind of quiet after the big pump up over the weekend from the judges ruling to reject the ape conversion. It's caused massive volatility in AMC, even though it's a little bit quieter today. It did take a hit overnight. It's down about 7.5% before the bell, but it was up about 35% prior. The day before. It also, AMC had its highest single week in attendance and admissions revenue since 2019. Verizon, VZ did drop their earnings report today. If we pull up VZ chart here, you can see Verizon gapping up mostly. It's at about $35 a share right now after dropping its second quarter earnings. It posted 121 adjusted EPS versus 116 estimates. And again, if you're learning earnings, EPS is profitability. So EPS is a gauge on profitability. It's how profitable the company ultimately is. It's their margins. So they did better than expected margin-wise at 121 versus 116. EPS revenue of $32.6 billion versus $33.28 billion expected. They also said they were confident in achieving their fiscal year financial targets, and their fiscal year EPS view of 455 to 485 is higher than the 468 expected. So higher revenue guidance for Verizon or a higher EPS profitability guidance for Verizon. Spotify dropped their quarterly earnings showing 3.18 billion euros versus 3.21 billion expected. So a little bit worse than expected for Spotify earnings here. If you put up Spotify's gapping down to 156s or so. We also had GM drop their quarterly earnings showing 191. EPS beat the 185 estimate. Sales of 44.75 beat the 42.64 estimates for GM, which is General Motors. Not a big GM fan myself, but, Tesla is up about 1.3% today. So Tesla up about 1.3% today. You can kind of see it gapping up. It's at 272.30s for Tesla. 3.5% gain yesterday. Tesla up. NVIDIA also doing good with 1.2% increase for NVIDIA here. You can kind of see it right there. It's gapping up to 450s for NVIDIA. Microsoft up about 1% today in pre-market. It had about 0.4% increase yesterday. And again, their fourth quarter financial results are scheduled for today. After the closing bell today, we are going to stream the entire thing for Microsoft Live. So stick around. We are going to cover that. Snapchat is up about 0.8%, about 1% today in pre-market. They dropped about 0.5% yesterday. They're gearing up for their second quarter results again today as well. Dish, satellite company, showed a 1% gain in pre-market today. They had a 4.3% gain on Monday. Carvana is up 0.7% in pre-market following a 1.4% gain yesterday. Disney is pulling back a little bit. It's dropped about 1% today in pre-market, about 0.7% drop yesterday. So again, we're getting ready to watch that. We got the market open in about 45 minutes. Again, today we got Snapchat, Microsoft, Google earnings, and a bunch of other ones as well. So let me know what you guys think we're going to get for those earnings reports. Again, they do drop today. Again, we're going to stream Microsoft earnings later on this evening. Probably Tsla, but not 100% sure, of course. So weird, I cannot find anywhere on TOS Microsoft News reporting today. TOS is a little bit harder to find. Again, people think I'm just shilling for Moomoo, but Moomoo's got a great economic calendar that's free. So check out Moomoo. It'll show you. Again, if you look at something like Benzinga as well. And Benzinga is really dope. Like, I use Benzinga as well. I don't really, like, I've already got 3 sponsors, so I can't really plug too many people right now. But Benzinga is really dope, and I really do use them as well. But yeah, if you look at like Benzinga, Microsoft's dropping their fourth quarter earnings. Earnings call scheduled for 5:30. I hate the 5:30 ones. It just means it's going to freaking drag on, man. But we got a lot of other stuff that we could probably cover leading up to it. I don't know. Let me see. So we got Google as well. What is Google earnings? So Google's at 5. So I could cover the Google release and then pivot to Microsoft afterwards. We're gonna stream all of them. So we're gonna stream Microsoft, Google, Snapchat reports. As for the actual earnings call, I think Microsoft is a little bit more relevant than Google today, because I think Microsoft owns OpenAI, which is AI. And I know Google has Bard, and Bard's great. I love Bard. I actually think Bard's a little bit better than ChatGPT in some areas. But I think Microsoft, number one, is the more heavily weighted company, and number two, with open AI stuff, I think Microsoft's the one we want to stream. So we'll probably stream Microsoft earnings call, but cover all of them. We're going to cover Google, Snapchat, all that good stuff. Hey, nice, Fred. That's cool, man. But yeah, I'm excited. Yeah, so let me know if you guys think Google will hit or miss. I'm not sure. Yeah, but this thing is nice. I'm friends with Mitch over there, and I've kind of worked with them off and on in the past. So they're a great company, cool company. Yeah, and it's all up here, Fred. I know you and I disagreed earlier. I guess one of the things that'll always get a negative response from me is if somebody says, "Hey, I'm going to go watch somebody else." The response anybody's ever going to get is, "Go do it," you know. And it's not even just you, Fred. Again, I've had people over time that said they threaten to unsub and do all this stuff. And again, I think the only real way to deal with that is just say, "All right, we'll do it then." But again, I appreciate you being a member of the community, man. It's all good. It's all love. And again, if I talk about politics too much, my apologies. I really do. I don't really mean to. But just for y'all to understand, like, I stream for 4 hours. A lot of the times I stream for 7 hours in a day if we have earnings. And so we're going to go through a large range of topics on a lot of different things because I'm trying to fill time, markets break it down a little bit, but my point was it's all love. It's all good. NASDAQ falling down is at about 15.6 thousand. The S&P breaking down a little bit. The E-mini is at about 4580s. So we can put up the SPY, but we are breaking down a little bit. Yeah, I'm kind of adding a little bit more to my Disney position, but it will be a long-term trade. So I don't want anybody to necessarily copy me because I think this thing could drop more. But it's a long-term trade. So I think long-term I'll probably be green, but don't follow me in a trade because again, you don't know how long. Nobody follow me. I don't want people following me because I don't know how long I'm going to sit in this thing. Yeah, it's all good, Fred. And we appreciate you, man. It's all good, dude. Low volume today. Yeah. I mean, AMC's light. AMC has low volume today too. So it's pretty light. I mean, we moved a lot earlier in or it looks like after hours yesterday, but pre-market's been pretty quiet for AMC. The SPY started to break down, although it's kind of a neutral day. We gapped up originally, and now we're kind of giving that back, and we're right around break even on the day now. And again, this is in anticipation of the FOMC meeting tomorrow, which is a big relevant thing, like a big important thing. So like a lot of the time ahead of these big economic releases like CPI, PPI, FOMC meetings, Jerome Powell press conferences, all that stuff. A lot of the time we get like sideways, choppy, apprehensive trading because the market's just waiting for the big catalyst to drop before they take positions. You got to think about it from a psychological perspective in that you got to think big traders and hedge funds and funds are moving the market, right? When number one, it's summertime. And so a lot of those guys, those guys are a lot of the time really well off. And so they're going to be out going on vacation. They're going to be going to the beach. They're not really going to be sitting on a computer a lot. So in that regard, summertime typically has lower than average volume relative to the full year, as well as ahead of these big economic releases. Traders understand that these releases could influence their positions. And so they are more apprehensive in terms of taking larger positions because they understand they're not going to take a big position today and then have that huge position wildly influenced by the economic release coming out. So they're going to be more hesitant to take big positions, and all of that, causes lower volume, less liquidity, and lower volatility. In the lead up to these big economic releases. And again, we got a lot of stuff today too. So it's not just the lead up to one right now, it's the lead up to multiple. So we got Verizon, Snapchat, Google earnings this evening. We have the FOMC meeting tomorrow. We've got CB consumer confidence at 10 today. We have Meta earnings tomorrow evening, as well as the FOMC rate hike decision before that. Thursday, we have the GDP data release, as well as jobless claims. And then Friday, as well as a bunch of other earnings. And then Friday, we got the personal consumption expenditure, which is again the Fed's preferred inflationary gauge. So a lot of stuff going on. It's a lot of stuff that you want to pay attention to. So you win. Hey, got a nice rinse going on. Alcoa gapping up this morning. 8K filing. Vice Pres registration. What's the symbol for Alcoa? Is it AA? Yeah. They're up to 34.50s, 34.60s. Only Bloomberg, CNBC, and Beginner Trades are the top 3 news delivery services, and they better be watching their backs. John is awesome. Hey, thank you so much, man. I appreciate it, Gordon. We try. All right, so you can see AMC making a little test here. So AMC trying to pop up. It's at 540s right now, 540s. The SPY still in a downward trend, I would say. So slight negative downward trend here for the SPY currently. We'll see if we keep on that downward trend right now. Again, the goal for today is to build up a cushion. I don't want to press too hard and risk too much and end up like losing my spot where I'm about to get funded. So we're going to take it very small, very light today. The big thing today, guys, is that I need to be very careful with my trading. I don't want to give so much back to where it's going to be a pain trying to get funded tomorrow. The goal today is, again, the only goal is to build up a cushion. Once I have a cushion built, then we take large swings, try to get the one good trade done. So we build up a cushion of $100 to $200 if we can. If we can't, we sit out today with $100 to $200 loss or whatever it is. If we do build up a cushion of $100 to $200, then we take max size and we try to get funded, right? If we lose on the max size trade, we're back to break even. We go through the process of building up that cushion of $100 to $200 and then rinse and repeat that until it sticks. That's the plan today. That's what we're trying to do. Let me know if you think that's a good idea or not. No, I don't have any cushion today so far. We're actually down a little bit today in the account that matters, but it's like $100. So working on building the cushion now. We'll see if we can. All right, AMC, pop it up some. Again, is it going to get a reignited move here today? Let's see. So Barbie and Oppenheimer set box office records. Freaking Barbie? Bro, Barbie's everywhere, dude. I went shopping. They had like Barbie setups everywhere I went. I think so. Barbie is like the movie of the summer. Who knew? All right, guys. So we're sitting back tight, waiting. We still got about 30 minutes before the market opens. And again, I'm going to enjoy a quiet morning today before, this is at this point in time, this is the last quiet day before we get big volatility for the rest of the week, man. And it's going to be a busy week too, honestly, for sure. It's going to be very busy. Yeah, I mean, I'm just reading reports, Bill. Sound of Freedom, I heard did great. You know, I heard did great. I heard it was a great movie too. So I'm not trying to exclude that. Uh, what's your Twitter join date? My Twitter join date is November 2016. No, I mean, I'm using a bunch of different news sources, Bill. I'm just reading the opening headlines a lot of the time. You know, doesn't matter too much either way, though. You know, Tesla on the rebound. Yeah, I think Tesla started to move up. AMC on the rebound, back up to 550s right now, guys. 550s. So 550s today, guys. Is it no longer Twitter? Is it X now? I don't know, man. Again, I really don't know. Oh man, dude. Is it time to buy the dip in anything? Let me know. The only thing I'm worried about today, and something that I got to be incredibly careful of, right? So again, I'm basically very close to getting funded. I've got like $2,500 net out of the $3,000 needed to get funded on Top Step. The only worry I have regarding today, and I'm going to put it out there into the universe, I'm going to make it today. I'm going to get funded. I'm going to make $700, gross, and then, make the $3,000 I need to get funded. I'm going to put it out there into the universe today. But my worry is that, again, ahead of this big economic stuff we got going on, I'm worried that the market's going to be a little bit too light and choppy today. So hopefully I can build up that cushion. Again, the real test is building up that cushion. If I can build up the cushion, then we're basically there, and we can just rinse and repeat the system that we've been doing, which is, again, building up a cushion, taking larger swings once the cushion is built. And again, so far we are basically flat here. So in this account, you can kind of see we're basically flat in this account so far. We're in one trade of the E-mini short. We're up 62.50. We've already taken some profit. So we are effectively green on the day right now. And I want to give this time to break down a little bit more. I just hope it doesn't hold support and bounce right back. If it does, we'll get out break even. But that is the trade we're currently in so far. My average on AMD is about $6. I've been holding it for like a year though. So it's not like I just got in it yesterday. I've been holding AMC for like a year. Again, my average is about $6. I could have taken profit when it was at 9 and be up 50%. But again, I decided to just be patient and wait. And this E-mini trade's starting to rebound on me. I'm still green, but not as green. I'm just hoping we get a rejection onto this level, and I could be a little bit more loose with it and get out break even if I really want. Because we do look like we're getting somewhat of a rejection there. Yeah, I mean, I've been holding AMC for like a year plus. You can ask the chat here. The chat see me. I mean, I've told people many times. I've covered all the major earnings calls for AMC, and I've told them every time I'm holding it. I've been holding it. I could have cut it yesterday at 50%, but I decided to sit in it. Again, we pushed up to 9, which is a 50% gain in AMC. Going from 6 to 9 is a 50% increase. But again, I mean, I've been in it for a year. I'm going to let it go a little bit more than that, I think. Are you reporting the Case-Shiller? Yeah, we'll report it. I mean, it's not a huge release, the Case-Shiller, but we'll report it, Y'all can hear the music, right? You should be able to. All right, so yeah, today, Case-Shiller, house price index, expectations year over year for the Case-Shiller are for minus 2.2% for the Case-Shiller. Last time was minus 1.7%. If you don't know what the Case-Shiller is, it is an index that measures the change in the selling price of single-family homes in 20 metro areas across the U.S. Basically, it's analyzing the selling price of homes. It drops in about 15 seconds. We're going to report on it when it drops. Not really a huge market mover, relevant for real estate, but not really a big mover anywhere else. All right, so here's the Case-Shiller. It just dropped. The data showed minus 1.7%, minus 1.7%. So less of a house price drop than originally expected. They expected minus 2.2% decrease in house prices. They ended up showing a minus 1.7% decrease in house prices. So more positive than expected. Again, we got CB consumer confidence data at 10 a.m. in exactly an hour. Expectations for that are 111.8 versus 109.7 expected. And our trade is going in my favor here. So we're now green on the day effectively. I'm going to let it break down some more here. Famous last words before I cover my position pretty quickly usually. Again, we're gonna get out flat on the rest, but one thing I like doing is if I'm green in something, I like to just let it work. That way, if we get a much larger breakdown, these are where I can really build up the cushion comfortably and less emotionally. So we're green. We already got a nice little cushion on this specific trade. I want to give it time to break down more. Now we're up about 90. Question is, do I want to get out flat? I think I want to let it break down more. Up about 100 on the trade altogether. We already took a little bit of profit there and made like 25 bucks. All right, there we go. We're up 100. Let's see if we get the breakdown a little bit more here. There we go. 112s. There we go. All right, we're going to go ahead and lock that in. So that brings us to nicely green on the day. We are up about 50 bucks on the day. We were down a little bit leading into that trade, but I'll take it. I wanted to give it time to break down, and we did, and that's nice. We'll take it. So we got our first little cushion on the day in this account, shorting the market. Again, the name of the game today, guys, in this is we're attacking trends. All right, we're not going to try to take reversals. We're not going to try to short the top. We're not going to try to buy the bottom. We are simply going to attack trends. We recognize that the E-mini itself was in a downward trend right here. You can kind of see the downward trend here. I'm going to pull this up and hold on, guys. Yeah, so we already got that up. But again, we recognize that we were in a downward trend. We're going to keep pushing towards that downward trend. AMC back up to 540s. Is this because the Case-Shiller data was inflationary? I don't think so. I don't think this really influences the market that much. I think we're already in a downward trend, and we're just riding the downward trend down. Again, you can kind of see it here in a 1-minute chart. I'll draw the trend so you guys can see it. All right, so here's the trend that we're currently in. That's the trend I see right now. Maybe I'm wrong, but let me know if that's the trend you guys see too. But here's the S&P 500. Again, we are going to be trying to get funded on Top Step today. Again, we already got our first step. We're running about a 2-to-1 ratio today. We are up about 50 bucks, 40 bucks, actually, sorry. 2-to-1 win-loss ratio. Hey, good luck, Justin. All right, so here's the trend. Again, I got to be patient and wait. Market opens up in about 25 minutes or so, 25 minutes. So we're bouncing back a little bit. I could attack the downward trend a little bit more. What do you guys think? Should I attack the downward trend a little bit more? Part of me wants to short this. All right, I'm gonna go ahead and short that. So we bought. We're in another contract again. We're attacking trends. I think we got a obvious downward trend. I want to see if we move back down to test the bottom of that range. We got a little cushion on the day, so we don't have to be super emotional about it. If we lose here, we're probably back down to break even or at least a small loss. Hopefully we get a flush, just rejection to back down there. We start to test the bottom of that range, and that builds up the second half of our cushion is what we're looking for. We're about flat in this trade now. Again, aim small, miss small, and that's what we're trying to do. So yeah, meta earnings. I don't know, Robert. I mean, I hope it runs up. I think it probably could. Again, if I didn't think it would run, I thought I probably would have sold. All right, we're getting to be where we're slightly green on the trade, at least close to it. Yeah, meta earnings Thursday are going to be, or no, meta earnings are tomorrow. And again, we're flat on this trade. I'd love to see a breakdown to the bottom of this range. Again, we're in a downward trend. Well, I don't know. Sometimes the top can have too much breakout momentum. Like if it gets to the top of that trend, it can just, traders get hyped up and they start buying it up. And so in that regard, I don't mind shorting it in the middle range as long as I think it's going to follow the trend. Again, if it's at the top, a lot of the time we can just have these huge pops that I don't feel like getting stuck in. And again, we got ourselves into a really good position to where, like, if we lose here, we're going to be about break even on the day. Again, we're basically flat. How you guys doing today? Are you guys red or green today so far, team? Put my trend up a little bit more so you guys can see it. Green, red, big red. I'm blue. Dabba dee dabba da. Dad jokes. I got dad jokes all day. Markets break it down a little bit. Green. Hey, what's up, Dooms? I just took one NASDAQ just for fun at the dip. I'm out. Hey, be safe, bro. All right, so again, we're flat on the trade. Disney bouncing back a little bit today. That's nice. All right, so now we're green on the trade. There we go. Nice little breakdown here. We'll see if we continue in this little trend. There we go. You love to see it. We're up about 40, 25. All right, so we're green on the trade. I could probably let it work a little bit more, see if we start testing that bottom of the range is what I want. Carvana back up to 46. What else is moving today? Tesla. Do you think Meta is too high? I think Meta's pushed up a lot over the last year. You know, Meta was around $100. I think it was under $100 at one point. And honestly, at the time, I was incredibly skeptical of it. Meta currently at about $300 right now. But again, if we look at a weekly or a yearly chart, Meta was at $90 a share back in November of last year. It's a pretty weak sign, man. And again, this was right after it came out that like Zuckerberg and Meta had lost like $10 billion in the metaverse the previous year. And so in the metaverse slump, a lot of people were worried about it. And there was a lot of people that bought the dip. But at this point in time, Meta's just up so much that I'm a little worried about it. Like if you look at Meta, the PE ratio currently for Meta is not actually that bad. It's at about $36 a share. So I guess it could be worse. All right, there's another breakdown. We're up about 50 on the day. See if we can crack this low and continue in this downward trend. And again, today we're attacking trends. Up about 60. All right, we're going to go ahead and cut that. So we are up $100 on the day. All right, so that's green trade number 2. We got our first half of the cushion built. We got $100. We got less than 20 minutes before the market opened. We got $100 to trade with. What do you think about DraftKings? I like DraftKings as a company. To be honest, they're up a lot, though. They're up a lot over the last year as well. I remember when this one was like $12. It's at 31s right now. So it's up, 150% or whatever that is. But it's just up a little bit too much for me personally. If it dips a little bit, I'll buy it. I'm more like for longer term trades, I'm more of a dip buyer. Like I like buying the dip. Like my favorite bread and butter type trades is I like buying stocks that everybody else is like, oh no, like if people are trying to talk me out of it when I buy it, I'm usually in the right trade. And again, I've done this many times. I did this with Snapchat when it was at $8. I did it with Target when it was in the 120s. I did it with a bunch of different ones. I did it with Disney when it was right around where it was now, and then it rebounded to $120 a share. And then I took profit, and then I added again, and then I took profit again at the 91s and 92s. And then I added again recently. My average price now is $85.75. So, we're right around break even. We're down a little bit, but again, I'm going to give it time. But again, my bread and butter is looking for the stocks that everybody else is so emotionally biased against. And I usually buy up those stocks. Like there's a lot of stocks that are just really beaten down over time. So there's stocks that are just beaten down over time where like when you're looking at it in terms of objective value, like relative to their earnings, relative to the company itself and the long-term viability, I think there's a lot of discounts in stocks that people discount, pun intended, I guess, for many different reasons. And again, I watched the movie The Big Short for the first time in like years, a few days ago. One of the common things that Burry said, and I think it's absolutely true, and I think it inspired me a little bit to trade this way, is I look for value wherever value can be found, So if everybody's trying to talk me out of it, I'm usually a little validated in the trades I take. And again, over time, my swing trades in that regard using this type of system have been very accurate. Like I've made money on a large majority of them. I'm in Walgreens right now. Somebody tried to talk me out of Walgreens when I bought it, and now it's up a couple dollars a share relative to where I entered it. So yeah, diversification is usually the move. So like again, with that in mind, with the swing trading strategy, I always talk about if I can diversify into these type of trades, then it's usually the trades that I'm the most happy taking. Raytheon. Yeah, it's not at $88 a share. But again, one of the things is like I stick with companies I know. Financial. So I stick with companies I know. So I'm not going to do it with RTX because I don't know RTX. I don't know Raytheon. It's just not a company I'm super familiar with. And so in that regard, I'm not going to take a big bet trade on it because I just don't know it well enough. But it is down to $88. It looks very weak. Which ETFs are dropping? The SPY. Tesla's dipping down a little bit. It's not oil. It's last night. Healthcare. I don't know what sectors are dropping the market. I'd have to check it out. Tesla's dipping down short term, though. You can see Tesla on the bottom right here. Do you cost average in? I cost average in. I have, like I said, my accounts are large enough to where I can really just keep adding to them. And if they're healthy enough companies, then it doesn't matter. I can hold it long term if I need to. But it's never had to come to that. Like most of the time, I take these swing trade positions only in blue chips that if it does have like a black swan event where it goes against me huge, I can just sit on it most of the time. And again, they're healthy enough large cap stocks that I can keep holding them and they're going to be fine. Like Disney's going to be over $85 long term in my opinion. Maybe not, but the risk, I'm in 50 shares, so I'm in a very small position anyway. And I've already rinsed, repeated, moving up, taking profit, covering, adding on the dip, covering on the bounce. I've done that so much to where, the profits that I've made on Disney this year alone are going to be much more than any loss I could take right now, I think. Microsoft. Microsoft's down a little bit. It's pulling back to the VWAP here, but I think it's Tesla. Tesla's heavily weighted. Uh, 4 p.m. Eastern Standard Time is when most of them drop. Chronic. Raytheon, Boeing, Lockheed. Gotcha. People trying to talk you out of dip buys are all probably short. Yeah, I mean, it's kind of like what I ran into earlier with the guy that I banned here. Like, you got some people who, and again, I'm going to preface this conversation with, like, I respect you regardless of your political party, right? But some people just go overboard to where it's like any stock I buy, they look at it from the political lens. And if it's against their political side, they try to talk me out of it. Right. And that's very much the opposite way that I trade. I don't care about politics at all unless it has some huge effect on the stock. And some of the stocks I'm buying up are stocks that have dropped big on political stuff that I think are objectively cheap. But yeah, it just depends. There's some stocks that, like in earnings season especially, you just get like big emotional reactions on the downside. And so I look for those a lot of the time. And with earnings season here, I'm going to look for stocks that drop big. But I have to know the stock. Like Raytheon, RTX, I would buy that. But I don't know the company well enough to be interested in that. So they need to be like a well-known company that I've used before that at least I know about. Yeah, I start small, Jeff, and if it goes in my favor, I take profit. If it doesn't go in my favor, if it's a healthy enough company long term, I'll just add to it. Yeah, I mean, I'm not saying Raytheon. I know Raytheon's not a small cap company for sure. It's just not a company that I know. It's not a company that I've really used or know the ins and outs of the business. It's just not something I know really super well. Yeah, it doesn't look good right now, but I mean, it depends on which lens you look at it. Again, for my dip buys, sometimes big drops like this are my bread and butter where I can buy this stuff up cheap. And then a lot of the time, the first initial reaction with something like RTX is like an overreaction or an emotional reaction. And so a lot of the time, you're going to get big pullbacks like this from earnings. And then like over the next couple of days, you'll get a bounce back to like 90, 95 bucks. Maybe not 95, like 90, 92, 93 bucks. I think that's very possible. Maybe it's not going to rebound fully and give the entire gap back, but a lot of the time the first drop is an overreaction and then you get like a small bounce back to compensate for it afterwards. That's something that I take very often in earnings seasons, but again, with Raytheon, it's just not a company I know well enough to do it on. I'm not sure, to be honest. I don't know what Raytheon is. That sounds like it could be right. Downtrend seems to still be pretty steady here. I mean, it might be like one of the things I see here is this might be a this might be a trend that's slowly getting tighter and tighter until it breaks. Let's watch for that. If not, we'll spread the trend back out and look at it from a different lens. But right now, you can kind of see the wedge pattern showing up here. Can you give me your analysis on EVLO? Sounds like an obscure penny stock, right? EVLO buy. It's a biotech penny stock. It's just not something I trade. The risk here is so much, and like the problem with these companies is like if you look at them long term. If you want to know why I don't trade like mid cap stocks, you can look at something like this, right? So like here is EVLO. Here is EVLO's long term trend. So it's like this thing was at, almost $70 a share way back here. But over the last year, it's just kind of crashed and burned. This is one of the reasons I don't invest in like mid-cap biotech companies, is because it's like people treat mid-caps like they're investments, like they're blue chips, and they're not. They can drop huge percentages like this in a year. They can drop 90% in a year. And so when I invest, I'm only investing in blue chip companies. Like I'm not going to buy a mid-cap. Mid-caps, people think they're better companies than they are because of the price, but they're new companies, right? They're new companies, or they're biotechs, which are incredibly volatile in terms of like health wise. So again, one of the reasons I always talk about the biggest edge is blue chips is because people underestimate how crazy these can get. Like EVLO has dropped from $65 all the way to 49 cents at one point in time. Imagine if you invested thousands and thousands of dollars, you'd lose everything putting your money in there. And so that's just kind of something that you can't risk in investing. And it's something that you have to understand. A lot of the time, once they do something like this, they'll put out really big sensationalized marketing, and they'll say, hey, these are the greatest companies ever. You'll see like, these are just the greatest companies of all time ever. And they're not. These are terrible companies. No offense. I mean, I don't know. Again, one of the risks of bringing up a penny stock for me to look at is I might kind of tell the truth about it, which is what I see. EVLO looks incredibly risky. I wouldn't put a cent into that myself personally. It's dropped from about $400 in 2021 all the way down to about $8 right now. It was at 49 cents early in the year. So it's just risky, man. You getting in Snap today? No, Snap's a little bit too high for me currently, I think. Again, I bought it last time and it was at like $8 or $9 and sold it at 10 or 11s, and now it's at 13s basically. So it's just a little bit too expensive. John Deere analysis. Deere looks super strong. I think it's got high utility. People need to use it. I don't see it going obsolete anytime soon, and I think they're on the forefront of their industry. The only problem with Deere, DE, is that the weekly chart looks a little extended on the upside. Like it's just moved up so much recently that I think it'll go up long term, but I think it also has it also could pull back short term, and so it depends on how long you want to hold it. All right, so here's this trend. We'll see if it holds this trend. We got 7 minutes left, guys. 7 minutes. Would it make sense to short micro caps or mid caps? Sometimes it can. I mean, it just depends. Like, there's been a couple companies that I called the failure on years and years ago. The two companies that I did this on were BYND, Beyond Meat. I've been saying the same thing about Beyond Meat for years, which is that they overestimated their market interest. Vegans are very health conscious, and most of them don't want to buy lab grown meat, and it's super expensive as well, right? So that makes a recipe for failure, in my opinion, for BYND. And if you look at BYND's chart, we've been saying this for years, and since we've been saying it, BYND has dropped a lot. BYND has dropped from 230s, 240s in 2019 down to $15 where it is now. The other one is Peloton, PTON, company that got really hyped up during the pandemic. It is a virtual reality bicycle company. I did a poll recently on Twitter, and the question was, would you rather have a virtual reality bicycle or an actual bicycle? And like 90% of people chose actual bicycle. And so I think that's an innate problem with their business model. I think not many people want to spend $4,000 on a virtual reality bicycle. I think most people would rather just go ride the bike. If you're in an area where you can't ride the bike, a $4,000 virtual reality bicycle is pretty expensive. And I think if I was Peloton, I would change the business model as well and raise the price of the monthly subscription and lower the price of the bike. Because if somebody buys the bike, they're going to buy the monthly subscription for it. So I would make it a little bit lower barrier of entry for buying it and then make your money on the back end with subscription. That's what I would do if I was them. And I don't know. I thought they would fail, and they have. So they haven't failed yet. I mean, they're still $8 a share, but they've dropped from 170s back in 21 to $8. I don't think their problem is the product cost. I think the problem is that they're not thinking about it like in terms of vegans, man. People who don't eat meat are very health conscious people. They're not trying to be the guinea pig with some lab grown meat. That's just not what they're trying to do. It's kind of like, again, I've brought this up many times before, but it's also like Impossible Burgers at Burger King. Bro, what vegan is going to go to freaking Burger King? It's like selling caviar at a hot dog stand. Like, you're just not going to, it's just a waste of time, you know? And again, I think, I'm not saying there's not a market for these type of things, but I think the market is small, and I think that makes a small ceiling business. You know, I think the ceiling for the business in that regard is small. And so I don't think BYND has any, I don't think they have any reason to be up at 200 plus a share with the float that they have. I just don't think they ever had any reason to. I think they got really hyped up. They had some big names pushing it that got behind it. And then pretty quickly people realized that their sales were not going to make this thing go. And so it is what it is. Again, we bought the dip on Disney. Our average price is 85, 74, 75. So we are now green effectively on that position. I'll probably let the rest ride. And again, maybe I'm wrong about all this. This is just my own like subjective views on this stuff. Like, I could be wrong. It's very possible. So like, if you disagree, you know, you can let me know, and it's all love here. That's kind of the beautiful part about the stock market, is that we can all disagree on this stuff, and it's okay. All right, so we'll see if we break out of this trend. Tesla got a nice little pop up to 272s. We still got about 3 minutes before the opening bell. All right, we got a nice little cushion on this account. Again, goal is to get funded. All right, 2 minutes, guys, 2 minutes. All right, so look, it looks like the market's actually in this little wedge pattern I drew here. We drew this wedge pattern a minute ago. Look at Tesla, though. Tesla is something that might drag the market back up. Look at Tesla rip it up to 272s. This looks like it's news related. Let me see if there's anything out for Tesla, but Tesla is going. I don't see any news here, though. But it looks like that trend's, but Tesla up to 272.60s. So congrats to all the Tesla holders. Let me see if there's any. Morgan Stanley reiterates equal weight on Tesla, maintains $250 price target. Both GM and Work Sports game plans are on track. Tesla continues to rule EV. All right, guys, opening bell in less than a minute. Less than a minute. Seven, man. What's up, dude? How long has it been, bro? Hope you're doing good, man. My headphones just died. Man, 7. It's been a minute, huh? Hope you're doing good, bro. Channel's growing a lot, 7, man. Watch us today at Microsoft earnings, or watch us tomorrow for the FOMC meeting, man. Channel's grown. We've grown a lot, but thank you so much for the donation, brother. I appreciate it. All right. So long, man. All right, there's the opening bell. We're watching this little trend that we've got. There's the open. Tesla ripped up. AMC still at 530s. We'll see what that one does at the opening bell as well. Again, remember, we got CB consumer confidence data at 10 a.m. All right, Tesla breaking over highs again, up to almost 273s right now. 273s for Tesla. Can y'all hear the music? Make sure you can. Hold on. There we go. Now you definitely can. All right, so there goes the SPY popping up a little bit. Tesla's still very, very, very volatile at the opening bell. Look at AMC rip, guys. AMC at 540s at the open. See if the market can hold this. We're going to let things play out. We're not going to take any positions right now because the risk is just too high. Again, goal is to build up a cushion first. I need to let things settle down before I take that risk, I think. Too many people shorting tests. Yeah. Volume for the first minute on AMC super low. Yeah, I mean, it could be better, but I'm just kind of sitting tight here, man. All right, so AMC just, or Disney just broke lows. Nvidia flying up, is it really? So there's Tesla at the bottom. This market looks like it's going to bounce short term. And Nvidia up to 450s right now, guys. 450s for Nvidia. There's the bounce. So we thought we might bounce here, and we did, man. Look at Nvidia rip. Yeah, BBIG is mostly a scam stock, Sarah. I hate to tell you guys this, but like BBIG has been one of the ones that they hype up. They tell you it's the greatest thing. It's the next Amazon or whatever it is. And then they dump shares and then they hype it up again. They talk retail into holding. Again, investing in penny stocks is a sucker's bet. It's a losing endeavor that a large majority of people are going to lose money on. You could put your money in large cap stocks and have very consistent returns investing. But instead, new retail traders who have, they chase the shiny things, end up just losing so much money investing in these penny stocks. Just be careful, man. BBIG is one of the worst ones I've seen over the years. CEI, BBIG are probably the two worst ones that have the biggest followings, yet the stock long-term just drops. It's gone from, it's been diluted so much as well. It's just super risky. Y'all be careful. All right, so there's the bounce. We called it. We told you guys we might bounce. Should have taken the trade. Again, we're letting this opening volatility play out, though, to be honest here. All right, so we just locked in some more profit on Disney. We ended up adding like another 50 shares on this big dip at 85.16s. And then we took profit on the bounce. So we are up about a little bit more on that one on the day. I'm going to probably take a little bit more off here, too. And then keep 35 shares, which is a little bit more than I had this morning, but we're just kind of playing around with it, adding on the bounce, taking profit on the, or adding on the dip, selling into the strength. Man, Nvidia just flying up. Yeah, it's one of those things like, it's like people get so mad if I tell them the truth about some of these stocks, but like a lot of these companies are just kind of scamming retail. You know, BBIG is an obscure, sketchy company that definitely is not a sure thing. Yet, like traders who are down, they add more to it. Like if you're in BBIG at much higher levels, and somebody says, "Hey, this thing is very risky," you know, it might make people kind of weird. And again, I just try to tell people the truth. Maybe it works. There's a chance that it works, but I think the risk is too much for me personally here. All right, so again, Disney moving up some more. Probably going to unload a little bit more. Just a tad bit more. There we go. Lock into that profit on the day. AMC still falling down. It's at 530s, but that's all right. Yeah, Disney's up. We're green on Disney. Our average price now is 85.20s. Still got 25 shares. Man, look at the bounce. We thought we might bounce. I should have taken the freaking position, honestly. I told you guys that I thought a bounce was coming, didn't I? Should have taken it, man. It's a little bit too up. Like having 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 green candles in a row makes me nervous. Watching NVIDIA because NVIDIA is what's dragging the market up. And if NVIDIA corrects, it can correct fast. So again, we have our cushion on the day, but I don't want to take too crazy of risk. NASDAQ's just surging up though. Is Netflix pushing? Netflix has been really strong over this year. All right, E-mini though. Here, the problem is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 green candles in a row. That's a lot of extension. We're also watching NVIDIA because NVIDIA is going to influence this. We need a pullback to buy, but NVIDIA still looks pretty strong though, is the only thing. Yeah, there's a little dip. It's not really a big enough pullback for me to be interested in this, to be honest. I think there's momentum, but I'm not gonna. It's kind of like I said, it's kind of like picking up pennies in front of a train track. You know, like it might work, but eventually it's not. All right, this is starting to get a large enough pullback for me to be interested in maybe buying. Big dip in NVIDIA. AMC starting to creep back up though at 540s. All right, so we're gonna buy this now. That's a large enough pullback for me to be interested in. All right, so we just made about $40 more. Again, we're building up that cushion here. We are up about 140 on the day right now, 140. Again, the job is to build up the cushion first. And we're almost there. AMC still pumping up though. So it's starting to get close to that aftermarket open high. Watching NVIDIA closely here. Dipping down some more. I'm gonna go ahead and buy this, I guess, but that's we're flat. Come on, just move up a little bit. There we go. I like the support level here. This looks good. We're flat on the trade. Break even. Just give me a little pump up. Little baby. All right, so we just made another $25. Again, we're baby steps here, guys. Baby steps. We are up about 170, 165. All right. About the little dip again. We waited for that nice little pullback. Up here, we're in no man's land, so I'm just gonna have to take my hands off and wait now. We've gotten a couple nice little trades up to the opening bell. We're almost up to $200 in the day. I could probably start to take a good risk level here now and go for the goal. Again, we got 5-to-1 win-loss ratio today. But again, we're watching NVIDIA because, like, if NVIDIA starts to squeeze and ramp, then the market could too, since NVIDIA is heavily weighted on a lot of different exchanges. What number is NVIDIA? So NVIDIA is number 4 on the S&P 500. So that's what I'm saying. So NVIDIA heavily weighted. You can see NVIDIA start to push up, and now the S&P is starting to push up with us. So again, let's watch to see if NVIDIA breaks highs. If NVIDIA breaks highs down here on the bottom right, the E-mini chart has a great chance of doing it as well. So we got a double top up here, small little pullback. Yeah, that's right. All right, NVIDIA retracing a little bit. Looks like it wants a chance to break. Again, it's not really my style of trade. It's in no man's land. Even if NVIDIA drags the market up and breaks highs, it's just not really something that I'm necessarily trying to do here. Hopefully AMC continues its run. I'm going to go ahead and cover my SOXS position. All right, so we're out. We're flat on that one now, just because I think if NVIDIA starts to ramp up, it's going to get back. We were green on the trade as a whole, though, so we're out of that. NVIDIA starts to push. AMC dipping down to 530s. See, NVIDIA's at high of the day, though. I don't want it to reject. NVIDIA just broke highs. Or at least it's about to, maybe. See, if NVIDIA breaks highs, it's probably going to drag the S&P up. So I'm tempted to take a long position here based off of this strength at NVIDIA. Like, buy here. This should break highs afterwards, but it's never a sure thing. And again, I'm usually a dip buyer, but this dip doesn't look that bad. It does kind of look like a little flag. I'm going to go ahead and buy it. I'm going to go ahead and take it. It's going to be a very tight trade. I see NVIDIA starting to run up on strength. NVIDIA's still rising. We're basically flat on the trade. I just cut this. I changed my mind on the trade, and maybe I'm going to regret it. We lost $12.50 there, so we kept it very, very small. Good. Because I see this big pullback in NVIDIA, and I think this might weigh down the market, even though this does look like a bull flag. So if you see the flag pattern here, the pattern is bullish. Like, there's the flag. Not the best drawn flag, but again, what I'm playing off of is NVIDIA here, and NVIDIA just took a large pullback, and NVIDIA's run up a lot. So, like, basically, anytime something's up big, I think it has the chance of correcting back down. And I think if NVIDIA goes something like this, then that's going to make this go like this. You know, and again, I'm not saying that's going to happen. I don't know. Might be wrong. Maybe it looks like I should have held the trade because we would have been green. But again, it just goes against my risk parameters. And so, you know, despite being right about the trade altogether, I'm going to go ahead and take the loss and not be super upset about it. Because again, regardless of whether it worked or not, it was against my risk. I just saw something I didn't like, and so all good. All right, Nvidia's still ramping up though. Yeah, I should have stayed in it, but it's all good. Again, we already got about $200 on the day. We have our level that we want. Nvidia breaking high, so it looks like getting out of SOXS was the right move. Yeah, we could have held this rip, but again, we made enough money on it that it's all good. Again, I gotta wait for the perfect trade to take the risk though. Like that's what I'm at now. So like right now we're up about 150. Big green action on the S&P. And the S&P is up a little bit too much for me to want to take the trade here. I can kind of see the trend. Let me draw this a little bit better. I think this might be the trend slowly forming right here. That's the trend I see right now. But again, a lot of it's based off of Nvidia here too. How you guys doing today? After the opening bell. All right, we see this. I don't think there's any big enough edge to really get excited about these yet. AMC starting to flush down. Yeah, it's all good. I mean, again, I don't really get FOMO too much. Like I day trade so much and so often that like I don't ever really get bummed out I miss anything. The most I'll ever get FOMO is if I was in like a big trade. The biggest times where I'll get FOMO is if like I take big size in something, lose a significant amount. Say I lose like $300, and then like right where I exited, the stock turns and goes back up the original way I was hoping for. That's the only time I'll ever be like, man, I just sold at the worst time ever. But that happens. It's inevitable in trading. Like you're going to experience that, and it's just a normal part of it. Disney completely choppy. Yeah, I don't really run into FOMO. Like I used to know some people that got really upset if they missed out on something. They would just be super upset. They'd be bummed out all day if they missed one move. And it's just like the more reps you get, the more you realize there's always another move, you know. No need to get upset. Yeah, we do have consumer confidence data at 10 a.m. It depends on what account I'm trading, Mr. Joe. My TOS account's got about 30K. My Momo account's got about a little bit under 30,000 in it. What I'm in right now is a Combine funded account program with Top Step, and it's a futures funded program. So they give you a demo, they test your skill. If you can hit the target while following their rules, they fund you between 50K up to 150. You get to keep your first 10,000 in profit once you are funded, and you get 90% profit split afterwards. And so, yeah, that's what we're in now currently is a funded program for futures. Really useful because it allows you to have less risk. Like the PDT rule restricts traders from taking any, big trades in stocks. But in futures, there's no PDT restriction. So you can day trade short futures without being restricted by the PDT rule. Hold on, guys. Hold on one second. I don't know, for whatever reason this isn't working. Oh, there it is. Okay, it finally pulled it up. Sorry, I wanted to make sure like my previous month's history wasn't showing up. So like here's me on the month for this account right now. So here's my profit graph. We made about 3,500 in gross profit, about just under 30 or just under 3 in net. And again, here is the E-mini. Let me make sure we're in the right one. Yeah. All right. All right, again, we need a little bit higher edge, though. We got a trend here, but the trend is getting really, really quiet, really, really light, not really doing much here, to be honest. It's just kind of boring. And I don't want to take that risk now. I think I just have to chill and wait. Yeah, I use Toss, I use Mumu, I use Top Step. No, Top Step's futures. But the futures market, when you see me day trading, here's the S&P 500. So this is the S&P 500. I could also day trade the NASDAQ. I could day trade currencies. And the pattern on the S&P 500 is basically a very similar pattern to like Apple or Tesla or Amazon or NVIDIA. You can see I'm basically looking at NVIDIA and trading NVIDIA's chart right now, but in the S&P 500. And that's how I've made the money today, is looking at NVIDIA to see what it's doing and then taking positions based off of that. And so, a lot of day traders should be trading futures over stocks. There's less restriction. There's no red tape. And the funded account programs are allowed where you can have limited risk. You're putting up $49 for the base combine on Top Step. If you pass it, you get a 90% split and you get to keep your first 10,000 in profit. So if you pass it and they give you 50K in funding and you make 20K, you get to keep 19 of the first 20K they give you, since you get to keep your first 10K plus 90% afterwards. And so it just makes sense. Like, it just makes a lot of sense. Yeah, defense stocks are down. If you want to check it out, they are a sponsor of mine. This is like the third plug I've done today in about 3 hours, or about 4 hours right now. So you can check out the link there if you want to help support the channel. We appreciate it. All right, so we're starting to get a big dip here. I'm going to go ahead and buy this dip. It's risky. We already have a cushion on the day. We're about flat. There we go. Bounce it back up a little bit. Let's see if we get some better action here. There we go. All right, we took 2 contracts there. We're in 2 contracts of the regular. We're going to start taking our swing right here, see if we can hold this trend that we drew. There we go. Give us some more. Slightly break even now. Slightly green. I took half off there. We're flat on the rest. Up about 180 on this account. See if we can keep that trend that we're drawing here. Again, a lot of it we got to kind of watch in video. There we go. Another big pop up. Let's see if we get some more here. We're starting to move towards the top of the range. All right, we just took another profit. So now we are up 214 on the day. About 215. Not bad. We got about a 3.5 to 1 win-loss ratio today, so it's pretty good. All right, so we're halfway there, to be honest. We need another 350 in profit. So I've got 2 options, right? I can swing really big on one trade. We got a beautiful cushion. We got a lot of room. If we lose on that one trade, we're back to break even. We can try to start that cycle over again. Or I can take small and steady wins the race and just try to get a couple more small trades in. We get another 2, 3, 4 trades like this, we are there. So... But the first half of the system today is done. We built that cushion on the day. We did build that cushion. Nice, Gary. We do have data coming out in 6 minutes. So what I'll probably do is wait for that data to come out. It's recurring while you are in the combine itself. So it's $49 a month while you're in the combine, Mike. Once you're funded, it depends on which funded program you go with. They have what's called an express funded and a live funded. And both have their pros and cons. I recommend looking up the pros and cons to each. But yeah, it depends on which one you go with. Yeah, I'm going to wait for this data to come out first. AMC started to pop back up to 530s here. Should have stayed with this trend. And Bruce, my puppy, has been so vocal lately, man. When he's ready to, when he's up, could y'all hear that? Y'all heard him cry? He's turned into just a good dog too. All right, man, that trend, man. Honestly, look, I'm about to tell you this. Our trend identification has been spot on today. Like, you guys see these trends I'm drawing. Look, we drew this one here. We showed you guys this trend basically as it was happening, and then now look at this one. Our little trend here has identified the bottom. Look at that. We're extending it to the left. Same trend that we had up, but look at that. So trends have been working really nicely today. NVIDIA breaking highs again. That's probably going to drag us back up to test this high level right here. Looks like covering the SOXS trade was the right move. Again, we did add to Disney. Disney's at 85.21 is our average. It's at 85.60 right now. Big pop up here. Look at that big bounce. Definitely top 3 trend identifiers. No, he's a shepherd. You want to see him? Here's Bruce. All right, look at that big pop. So this might break us out of that trend here that we've been in, to be honest. So I'm going to slow down my trading a little bit. Yeah, here's Bruce. Let me show you. Here's Bruce at 7 months and back in February. That's Bruce. Just a good dog, man. He's just a good dog. But he's a German Shepherd. That's the one you hear crying a little bit. He's cool. All right, NVIDIA just ramping up to 460s too. Helping the market for sure. All right, guys, so here's the CB consumer confidence data. We got about 2 minutes left, 2 minutes. That's a wolf. Yeah, he looks like one. All right, guys. Hey, we got about a minute left before CB consumer confidence data. If you don't know what this is, CB consumer confidence data measures the level of consumer confidence, obviously, in economic activity consumers have. Higher reading means more optimistic consumers. Lower reading means less optimistic. And they're expecting 111.8. So 111.8. We'll see what this means. Again, I would buy this, but this looks like a good little dip. But again, consumer confidence data drops in about 35 seconds, and it might move markets. We'll see how much. I don't know what it's going to show. I really have no idea. I'm just going to watch it and try to react to it. Do we have manufacturing PMI data today? Oh, yeah, we got Richmond manufacturing, but that's not a big release at all. All right, here's the release right here, guys. There's the report. Consumer confidence came in at 117, higher than expected consumer confidence relative to expectations. 117 versus 111, basically 111.8 expected. So 117 versus 111.8 expected. Higher than expected consumer confidence data here. Consumer data came in higher than expected. Now we'll see how this moves markets. It could be like if inflation fears are there, this might be bad. But if recession fears, or if the market is less so fearing inflation, then this might be good. Here's the data right here. I'm gonna put it up on the screen. All right, so we're still kind of in this trend. All right, so we had bought a little bit, one contract here. We will add to this trade a little bit too. See if we get a bounce back up. There we go. A little bit of improvement here. AMC starting to surge up. I'm going to take 2 contracts here. I see NVIDIA starting to bounce. There we go. Took half off there. We got 1 contract left. We already took half off. I don't really like that retracement, but let's see if it gives it. There we go. There's a nice pop. There we go. We're just going to cut it there, right there. All right, so guys, we are up about 275 on the day. We got a beautiful cushion. Disney, guys, hey, look at Disney. You love to see it. Our average price is 85.20s. We are going to go ahead and take some more off of this. We got 15 shares of Disney left. And honestly, we're so close, man. What was my price prior to this? So my price prior to this was $52,466 was what I had before. It looks like taking profit of Disney was the right move. All right, so we need roughly, I would say we need about 650 net or 650 gross to break the 3K profit. 650 gross to break the 3K profit. Right, so we're back down to the bottom of this trend here. The problem is, like, NVIDIA's been dragging the market up, and I don't know if it's necessarily going to go on forever either. So, like, with that, if it does make a correction, which I think is going to be eventually, you know, continuing to buy this trend that we drew earlier, which has been working beautifully here, to be honest. I mean, if you look at how much this trend has played out, it's worked out to the T. If we extend this to the left, there's the trend, and it's been following perfect. And if we're going to go by this trend, we would buy right now. All right, we'll go ahead and take it. But if we just get one more confirmation in trend, we're going to be sitting nice. I sold. We lost $12.50 there. The reason I sold is because NVIDIA is starting to pull back here now. And again, I want to cut that trade. I don't want to get stubborn with it. It might work out in my favor like the last example of this. But again, I got to keep it tight. I got to be smart with it. It might continue in this upward trend. But I don't like the fact that NVIDIA is pulling back down while we're at the bottom of this trend line that I've drawn here, which makes me think that the trend line might be about to break. Maybe it doesn't, and maybe I'm just being a little bit too careful, but I don't know if there's such a thing as that in trading. So we'll see, but I'll tell you this, if NVIDIA rips up and breaks highs again, sure, we'll buy it. But when we're testing the bottom trend line and NVIDIA is pulling back over the last 3 candles, I think it's possible we break the trend here. And maybe it keeps pushing up. The trend on NVIDIA is definitely strong, but we'll see how right I am. And there's the break of the bottom of the trend. And so, hey, called it. This is why risk management is key. Risk management is the most important thing you can have in trading, because ultimately you could see this coming. And they say technical analysis doesn't work, but I just called exactly what would happen. It's also possible, though, like to look at it from another lens here. This broke the trend for a split second. So it's possible that this is just stopping people out like me, and it's going to bounce right back. That's possible, too. I think it's a little less likely, but there's the trend line break on the downside. And it's ultimately going to depend on what NVIDIA does here, too. All right, there's the break. Hey, so when you're right, you're right. Risk management team. All right, well, good. $12.50 could have been 100. So the top step, I paid $50, but it's asking again for what? It might ask again after you've selected your platform life. If it does, it should say $0 next to it, and then you just want to proceed with it. So like if you buy a combine, it'll make you pay for it. You'll process that payment, and then you'll select your platform, and then it'll make you kind of like resubmit it again. But you want to make sure it says $0 next to price. If it does, it's just lock it in the platform you chose. Yeah, this is Quant Tower. I like Quant Tower, Shepard. You know, Quant Tower works great. But yeah, here's consumer confidence data that came out. And again, we called that trend break. Again, we told you guys we might break that trend. We've only done that twice today, where we started betting on the trend and then we changed our mind based off of NVIDIA. And again, this is why we watch NVIDIA. Like, this is why you can day trade based off of stock movement in futures. Like, I'm looking at NVIDIA's chart. I'm looking at NVIDIA's weakness. That's what told me we would probably break the bottom of this trend. And you guys heard me say it before it happened. So this is my point, is like, a lot of day traders in stocks should be trading futures because you can do what I just did. Now, do we want to buy back a potential rejection of the trend? So we broke down at the bottom of the trend line. Do we want to start shorting this now is the next question. I think it depends on what we think NVIDIA is going to do here. NVIDIA is still in like bull flag territory where it's just moving up and flagging a lot. And so it's also very possible that NVIDIA continues the strength on the upside, but we'll go ahead and short it. We'll go ahead and take that trade. We're flat on the trade so far. I'm going to go ahead and take another position here, take 2 contracts. We got a large enough a cushion where we can really swing into this. I'm going to go ahead and lock that in, lock in profit again, and then see if we could write a much bigger breakdown here. We're up 275 on the day now. We're up about 300 on the day, actually, but I need about 600 or 700. So I see NVIDIA start to flush down. That might drag everything else down with us. It's a big retracement, though, to be honest. It's a big retracement. I'm going to hold this and let it test the bottom of that trend line that we had here, but that's going to be it. I'm not going to let it go past that. Very close to it, too. Luckily, this trade, we're down about 25 bucks, so nothing really. We already took profit for about $15 or $25. And so we're down $12 right now in the trade. But if we push up and break this trend line, which we're testing, be down a little bit more. Very close to cutting this. If we lose on this one too, we're gonna have to reset and just figure it out. And maybe getting a little stubborn with this one, but that's all good. Yeah, we're just gonna have to get out of here. So we just lost a chunk. We're still up 180 bucks. But right now the edge in terms of trading is getting lighter. But we got a cushion. So we're gonna take our swing. Nvidia's on a big pullback territory right now too. What happened to Raytheon? Raytheon broke down big. Yeah, faked me out a little bit, and it's all good. Again, it was a small enough loss to where it's not the end of the world. We still got hundreds up on the day, and I just got to wait for an edge. And again, if you want to participate in the Top Step Combine with me, check it out. Another thing I've been using in the Top Step Combine is Chart Prime. Chart Prime is a trading view indicator service. You can use it in stocks, crypto, forex, futures. Works very accurately. Hi.
I need to go up to.
All right, sorry, Carol's talking to me about some stuff. Yeah, so I'm torn. I don't know whether to short this and ride that little breakdown there, which kind of looks like it could, but it's also technically in an upward trend, I would say. You know, you can widen this trend out and look at it like this, which it could be very easily in that now. I think what I'm going to try to do, to be honest, I'm going to buy one contract here. And then if this doesn't work, I'm going to add some size and take a risk. And if we lose here, I'm going to cut it down, break even on the day, and go again tomorrow. AMC dipping down to 530s. Ooh, I don't like NVIDIA dip. AMC's pulling back a little bit. All right, we're in 2 contracts here. We're going to add up to 4 or 5 contracts of the regular micro, or the regular E-mini. All right, we're now green on the trade. Yeah, this is why I built the cushion, is so I can build this up and then take risks with it. Here we go. All right, I just took half off. That locks in a nice little green trade. We're currently up about 250 on the day. I think I'm gonna just let this ride up some more. So we're up 200 on the day, about 225 actually right now. I might add a little bit to this too as well. So we're going to take 2 contracts here, maybe get up to 4. Again, I'm going to try to take some larger risks. And so I have some more. The only problem is like NVIDIA is starting to break down. There we go. We just took more off. We are now up about 260 on the day. A little bit more than that now, about 300 on the day. We're going to probably buy into this dip a little bit more here. There's 2 contracts, 3 contracts, 4 contracts. All right, so we got 4 contracts here. Ideally, we'd love to see a hold of this. We got a nice little cushion. If not, we got more time later that we're going to be here for Microsoft earnings. And so if this, for whatever reason, doesn't work out and we end up losing on our trade, which we're about flat on now, you know, it's all good if we do. And we'll just reset later on today for Microsoft earnings. And we got an hour before the closing bell today that we can trade during power hour. All right, so very close. We got that trend being tested right now. I'm honestly about to cut it probably. I'm going to give it 1 second here and add 1 more position to it. All right. 5 contracts here. Again, we're completely flat on the day right now at where it stands currently. Now let's get a rise. These are the only trades where I get a little emotional about it. Now we're about flat, which is great. We got 5 contracts. We got a big position here. As soon as we get into any cushion, we're going to take profits quickly into this. Again, we're flat. Pushing. No, don't retrace. Ah. It got so close. This is too weak for me to hold through, man. Again, I'm not going to discount it yet, but it's looking pretty bad for me. Damn, dude. That sucks, man. I was so close to getting funded, bro. Again, I still have a chance to do it today, but this is too much risk. We built up a cushion. We lost. We're down about 200 on the day now. We will have time later on today during market hours to actually trade those. So we're going to be streaming Microsoft earnings. And again, it's all good. We're going to still try to get funded today. If we can, you know, but it's all good. Like I said, we built up the cushion for that reason. Yeah, TJ, look, man. Again, TJ, it's all love here, man. But one of the rules I always give you is like, if I'm in a trade, don't pressure me to do one thing or another. Not helpful, dude. Not helpful, man. I've said it before. I've told you before. So please, friendly request. If I'm in a trade, do not pressure me. Do not say sell. Don't say don't do it. Don't say do it. All right. You got to just keep it neutral. Yeah, it's all good. Listen, I love you all. We'll be back later on today. Again, we are going to stream Microsoft earnings. I'm going to get going, though. And again, it's all good. We'll take some swings. We got some more trades to get involved with. And this is just one of the accounts, honestly. And a couple of these accounts were up big, too. So, like, we really got time. But with that said, I'm going to go ahead and close it down. I love you all. Y'all check out Chart Prime trading view indicator service. You could use it in stocks, crypto, Forex, futures. I'll show you this link right here. And honestly, you can see how useful they are. They've really helped me get close to funded this time. And you can kind of see they're right about almost everything. You know, I can't guarantee you're going to make money, but like, look at this, right? So this is a company called Chart Prime. What have I done here? I just want to show the chart. Why I'm okay. Yeah, look, buy signal here, nice little bounce. Sell signal here, nice little drops. Look, if you look at a 5-minute chart, buy signal here, bounce. Sell signal here, drop. Strong buy signal here, bounce. And this is just a small piece. There's so much stuff that they offer. If you look at, again, if you look at this here, I can show you chart patterns. Here's chart patterns right here. I can show you smart money concepts. I can show you market dynamics. They have a great oscillator. I can look at actual like flags, triangles, patterns, wedges, support systems. $35 a month. Very accurate. I can't fake what I showed you. It's very accurate, to be honest, in my opinion. But I am biased against them because they're a sponsor of mine. But I love you all. Check them out if you haven't already. Good luck. I love you all. Here's the link. Check it out. Great way to help support the channel. And anyways, I'll see you guys later.